let's read a book. Let's talk about the book club, book categorization, because labeling our bodies is one thing and understanding the history is another, but really it's the intelligence. Why do you think that kings and queens are intermixed with the religious order in their country? It's because they go to them for advisement. And a lot of time the priests are actually the ones suggesting war because they know philosophy. And strength is joy. So if you have a weak king who's unsure and unsure of himself, a lot of times back in the Middle Ages, whatever European country it was, they would go to their clergy for advisement. That's why that I think that television show Game of Thrones is just so amazing because you get to see like a full type of like medieval society with its cult, with its royalty. It's a fun show. I think I watched every episode.
Yeah, but yeah, like it revealed that there is these generational curses in every kind of elite kind of classes, and it's not a fun game to be an elite in the Dark Ages. It can actually, one day it can be really beautiful, and the other day it can be really ugly. Of peace, of peace, that these things that happened in the past bring them to our days for esoteric manifestations. Is going to ignite something that is going to affect the future negatively. Especially Gen Z. Gen Z today, they are not into these things. They are into computers, they are into technology, they are into Bitcoin, they are into other stuff for the future. We want something from the past. Why we don't bring the good things and we leave the bad things?
What's up, Jen?
What's going on, Skinny? How are you? I heard some trouble things.
About me?
Yeah.
Like
What's
what?
up? It's like your husband, man. Did you spit on him?
Oh, yeah, that was a long time ago.
happened?
Um, well, it was like a long time ago. Oh, well,
And they don't let me up. I have so much to say and I have interesting things to say. They don't let me fucking up with their fucking gods and stuff like that. Hello?
yeah,
Hello?
that's fine for you.
Of course I'm not gonna let you up. It's like a censored ass room. It's so
Yeah,
censored. Like,
yeah, so they're debating about whether there is a God or not and which dimension or if he lives outside of dimension, this, that, blah, blah. They don't even know what to do. They cannot even visualize what dimensions are. That's the problem. People know, but they don't understand. If you visualize dimensions, right? So there are four dimensions that we can factually state exist, right? We exist in a four-dimensional space, right? Time and space, but time is something special. We exist in a four-dimensional space 100%, but how does time come into existence? Let me tell you. So we exist in a four-dimensional space, and we observe it through the physical body in a third-dimensional view, right? In a three-dimensional view. We observe the four-dimensional space.
Destroyed the economy,
we live
killed
in.
millions
So
by
we
war and
observe.
vaccines.
Our awareness, our observer is in the dimension. Our awareness, our observer is four-dimensional in the fourth dimension, and it takes the mind is the awareness, so it's in the fourth dimension. The mind stays all what the physical senses are taking in, like images, feelings, and what they hear and other stuff. Now, so that all gets stored in the mind. So listen, so we create time. We create time in the physical space that God gave us. You know how? Because all everything we perceive through the physical senses goes to the mind, and the mind stores it. So there's a timeline, and where there's a timeline, there's time. So we can go back, we can remember our memories, blah blah blah. Right. But there's something else. So people think we only live inside a four-dimensional space, right? And from with time that we create through our brain, our mind, that saves everything we see and other senses that perceive. So we can also control and observe our mind. So the observer cannot be at the same place as the observed at the same time, right? So if we can observe, control, and program our own mind from what we see, right? That means there is something doing it from another place, another space. That means another dimension, a fifth dimension that that lives outside time and space. Um, because we can, it lives out, it lives out, it lives outside. It lives outside time and space because it can control our mind and therefore the timeline it created. So it can control it. So it's that dimension, fifth dimension. And here comes something crazy. Um, Humans can create and destroy, create beyond what they see, right? So our mind cannot create new things that our senses have not perceived. So where does our inspiration come from, our creativity? Where do we get these visuals that we try to recreate in this world? So think about it. So there is another dimension that our soul dimension or awareness dimension is taking inspiration from mixing it with what the mind has saved with the physical senses. And that is the spiritual dimension, I think. I'm not sure, I think. It's the dimension of wisdom. So the mind is a dimension of knowledge, and then there is the fourth dimension, then you have the fifth dimension. Our awareness, our soul, the dimension of understanding. And when you understand something, you can go to the sixth dimension, the spiritual, and then you get wisdom or inspiration or creativity, and then we put that creativity from the sixth dimension into our soul, because our soul is what makes us all unique, nobody has the same perspective in life, because even if we are at the same place seeing the same thing, we never have the same physical perspective. And also not mentally, we can be in a total, um, yeah, different mental state. So nobody is, we are unique. Our soul is, this is proof that what this is actually what shows the difference between us and other animals. Uh, the soul. So the soul is something that is created between the fourth dimension, the mind, and it is also it's a mix. It's like in the middle. It's like I don't know how to say it. I can visualize it, but I cannot say. It's like from the spirit. The soul is a mix of the spiritual dimension and a mix of the sixth dimension, the spiritual dimension, and a mix of the fourth dimension, the mind. Um, and animals, they are um, animals. They are they only so the animals are only like they do have like some kind of soul that goes to the spiritual realm, but it's not like us. We we are different. Like they don't have it like us, the mind and the soul and the mix of the spirit, and they cannot create beyond what their physical senses perceive. Animals, they can't do that. They don't create beyond what they see. They don't do that. That's us. So, and the mind cannot create new thoughts, right? The mind cannot create new thoughts. That's a fact. So where does these visualizations or inspirations for sound come from? It comes from another dimension, and it's a higher dimension because yeah, it's something that is not coming from beneath the lower dimension. So sixth dimension already, and I think the seventh dimension is the dimension of God. I think what makes us different from angels and why the angels might have been jealous at the humans is the soul, because the angels are just spirit and we have the ability to enter a physical body and you know create a mind of our own and memories we can go back into in time, and we can go in time when we want to if we are out of the space and of this out of this dimension of space and time, we can with the things our mind gave to us, our soul, we can do greater things than angels. That's why they're jealous of the human. We're jealous of the humans that you know rebel. I get it now why they're jealous. I really get it. Yeah, God gave us a mind of our own. He made us. You know, it's like God Himself. God Himself has a mind of His own. We too. Angels too, but it's different with angels. It's different. Angel are angels are made with knowledge. We are born to discover it and understand it.
Isn't that fascinating? Well, I can't stop watching the videos coming out of Moscow as it burns to the ground because eventually, I think the Russians are going to have enough of this and they will maybe detonate a nuclear weapon. I can't see how the Russians at this point are going to tolerate their flagship city being burned to the ground without a devastating response. And now that Obama has inaugurated Mordor, the Tower of Lies and Propaganda, and we know how big the CIA is at 100 billion a year, running military operations all around the world, funding Zelensky's military-industrial complex in the billions. I mean, how much is enough? How much war, lies, deception, and Bruce Springsteen are we going to have to listen to until we finally figure out that all is not well in Denmark? You know, there are two Americas. There is the Democrat industrial spam complex, and then there is the military industrial complex engaging in $100 billion covert war annually, blowing up Russia, a nuclearly armed country. This isn't Iran we're talking about here. We're talking about nuclear Russia that can launch an intercontinental ballistic missile and take out Manhattan. And I don't know how long Russia's going to play around, because if Russia implodes, if there's a coup d'etat in Russia, which people are speculating that's already happening, will the regime in Russia just go into their bunkers and engage in nuclear war? Because if Israel is prepared to drop a nuclear bomb on Iran, well, Russia might be prepared to drop a nuclear weapon on Ukraine. So, anyways, I'm sorry to share such disturbing news about World War III, but somebody should say something as Obama and Bruce Springsteen and Tom Hanks are dancing in downtown Chicago overlooking the lake and Moscow is burning. Well, you know, Putin is worth $1 trillion. He's the head of one of the largest military organizations on the planet. And as the Democrat industrial complex dances and parties at the Obama Tower of Lies and Propaganda, Moscow is completely engulfed in flames. And I'm just wondering, is Russia going to escalate? Because I'm just worried. I think that as Chicago dances and celebrates Obama's presidential library, the world could be moving and preparing for something unexpected. And it's because of unrestrained warfare and attacking civilian areas full of oil with highly explosive drones. I don't know. Maybe it's just me and there's nothing to worry about.
I mean, that's supposed to be their post-war rules-based order that was created when they was actually behind Russia and China not being our allies no more, because the communism that went into Russia via the Bolsheviks and Mao, all that shit came from Britain and everything, and that post-world order, literally, they control all the finances. They don't produce.
Karl Marx was German.
They run the markets and whatever. And America's supposed to be their security arm. So I think that's why all those Gulf nations was investing so much money for this shit to go on in Iran or whatever, for Lloyd's to pull out and all the other financial backing, insurance and everything to pull out. And they keep saying, there's something a lot of them keep saying. They keep saying sovereign nations, because none of the Middle East was literally sovereign. It's just been managed by someone, and Israel was supposed to be like the czar or whatever. And anything pop off, then we supposed to run to the fucking rescue. And he's like, nah, we ain't doing that shit no more. Matter of fact, fuck y'all whole system. Going back to what Meach was talking about earlier, he was talking about Mr. Clay, because Clay got that from Alexander Hamilton, and that's called the American system. That's why FDR was arguing on the vote with Winston Churchill before the war. He was like, y'all system is bullshit. If you don't bring up none of the fucking nations that you go into and extract these resources, you leave them without shit or whatever, and then you cause your little proxies and keep tensions going between them while you extract all the resources. That's not the American system. The American system is these nations that you get these resources from, you bring
Invocation
up.
of Satan, hail,
As you
Almighty One.
up, you bring them up. that was their big argument back then, and that's something that he's going back to. That was some shit that Kennedy was trying to get to before they offed him. Because remember, he didn't even want this whole thing about nobody wanting Iran going nuclear. Kennedy ain't want Israel going nuclear, and got popped for that shit.
Well, Moscow is burning. Well, Barry Soetoro Obama, the CIA, scammer, is dancing in Chicago with Bruce Springsteen. They're connected. Moscow is on fire. Vladimir Putin is not Iran. He is a nuclear-armed major military power who can pop nukes overnight in a second on Ukraine, on Europe, on America. He can launch an intercontinental ballistic Russian Hellfire missile system and take out Manhattan and Wall Street in 30 seconds. And we're burning Moscow to the ground as if we're Napoleon. Napoleon is not in Moscow burning it to the ground. It's the CIA and their $100 billion budget with Voldemort Zelensky and his military-industrial complex selling fucking drone technology, unarmed and unmanned vehicles. This is World War III. Prepare for war. Well, Barry Soetoro dances like a faggot in Chicago with his faggot Hollywood faggots.
They would have fucking did it already. They would have been using it. Go back to last 10 years at all the world summits, the ones that Russia was kicked out of, and only Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump and sometimes Xi are the only 3 fucking world leaders that talk about denuclearization. So they wanted to nuke a bitch, they would have been did.
I'm just saying Moscow is burning, and we are going into unrestricted war with Russia. Unrestricted war with Russia. Moscow is on fire. Hello? Hello?
I thought y'all was playing a video, and I thought Odin kept talking on the video. I was gonna say, Odin, you the fucked up, bro.
Hey, me too, man. I thought that motherfucker was recording too.
Oh, y'all just heard that good. Damn, that's crazy. I just heard the white man voice.
I'm sitting here like, yo, I'm on high. Like, why the fuck?
You think I would be doing that? You know I ain't that type of nigga.
Bullshit. I'm like, oh, they arguing with me.
I thought it was
Damn. Damn, bro.
I know to you got combo though, but that was fucking funny.
That was so
I
funny.
had to
That's
come to the
hilarious.
phone like, oh, it's the actual person these niggas is arguing with.
But it was because he wasn't responding or nothing, no name was saying. It's like, fucking seems like,
Yeah, I thought it was just me, bro. That's funny as fuck.
Well, I'm not a comedian. Unfortunately, I'm giving you the truth of the earth from your birth to your death. Barry Soetoro is a CIA faggot. His mother was a honeypot, and he's the birth of a honeypot. He is George Bush's installation to keep the war in the Middle East going, and he did. He expanded the debt $7 trillion, and now he's got $1 billion Tower of Mordor, lies and propaganda in Hyde Park, to continue with his lies. This is the master deceiver, the master deception. Michelle is a man. Those are not his children. He is an actor and a dick suck from Schaumburg doing meth sucking dick.
he turned into
Uh-oh! Uh-oh! Do not insult my Barry! Do not insult my Barry!
Also think about it. What's the only African nation that was brought forth at the G7? The same African nation that he's from. When they're making moves, the only African nation that they fuck with is Kenya. Everybody fucks with Kenya, and then he happened to be supposedly Kenyan. But we be looking past all of that shit. We look deeper into Kenya. Not saying that things are bad, but if you look into their government and how it works, then you'll see the pleasure.
Obama?
Bro, niggas actually, like, in real life, like, actually think Michelle Obama's a man, bro.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you didn't know June is LGBTQ Pride Month? It's not part of the culture, it's part of a cult. Trans ideology is satanic cult worshipping.
order in the court. Order in the
That's
court.
why I brought up that cult, but I don't think I watched the video.
I really did that Michelle's baby pictures and her younger pictures. She looks a girl. I ain't gonna lie.
There's no pregnancy photos. Private birth at University of Chicago. No pregnancy photos. Not one.
Okay, all right.
Let's stop. Yeah, y'all doing too much now. Look, you're against it here, bro. Like, I don't know. Like, clearly you tune it out and you don't care. But when people talk, like, we don't like really talk to each other. So I got a quick question for you. What do you think about the Beyonce pregnancy? When we all saw her belly fold on TV when she was saying that, you think that was real and she was never really pregnant, or you think that's bullshit too? Neither of them has anything to do with the other. I just want to see like
Yeah. Personally, bro, I could be wrong, but I thought that was just her dress folding.
You watch the video.
I probably gotta go back and watch it.
Yeah, so the theory was that she was never pregnant either. So the reason I didn't really say anything about, Michelle being a beast, because she very well could be, bro. If you look at Michael Laverne Robinson, which anybody can Google right now, and then you look at Michelle Obama, like, damn, like, these motherfuckers could be the same people for. And then you look at the kids, like, how they don't look like either one of them, and I know somebody's gonna say, oh, you don't gotta look like them, you can look like your grandparents or your great-grandparents. Like, this ain't that. I don't know. It's just some funny shit going on there, and it could very well be true. I'm just saying, until we see otherwise, which we're never going to see, we're never going to see what she looks like naked, we're never going to see her medical records or any of that, we can only assume. And just like Lowe brought up Bridget McCrone when Candace Owens was on her ass, like, she brought all the proof from all the documents, so it could very well be a thing. As a matter of fact, a couple months ago, we looked at all the first ladies, and all the first ladies look like men. Every last one
I
of
was
them.
about to say, you go further.
George Bush.
You go back to the beginning of time. That's what you see. Like, if you go look at all the original first ladies, bro, you insane if you looking at them pictures and thinking those are women, bro.
And that's why I made that statement earlier. If you
said
look at,
insane.
but George Bush loves Michelle. But the thing is that we're having a conversation about all this because Obama dropped the new building because all the other presidents were there. Kind of find it interesting that they had to do it at the same time. And if y'all want to be, we want to be messy, we can say he did it on private, but that's just me. Actually, but if you ain't, think about it.
If you look up Barbara Bush right now, you can't tell me that that's a white man.
And I'm really looking at Hillary kind of funny sometimes. I know she might truly be a woman, but I be looking at her and I'm like, she's kind of like a dude.
See, this is all meaningless nothing. The country is 200 trillion in debt. 200 trillion. Illinois is 200 billion in debt. Chicago is 60 billion in debt. Those are things that matter. What these fucking liars are doing, these politicians are spamming us with relentless bullshit. John Legend, and fuck, who gives a fuck? The country's broke, the city's broke. These faggots are dancing in the moonlight. They did this. They're responsible for this.
Why you? What's around him? What's the?
I love his energy. Thank you. Somebody said.
You know John Legend and his wife when they was on that interview on the red carpet. And
Oh yeah, he is a little.
well, hold on, they was talking about Obama. They was talking about what was going on with Obama, some sexual activities, and that nigga was damn near giving her the cue like, yo, you saying too much. Y'all remember that shit?
Well, there's a letter that Obama wrote in college to his ex-girlfriend where he says that he makes love to men daily or something about sexual relations with men. You can look that up.
Tucker Carlson has a guy saying by Six Flags Great America, north of Chicago, he was sucking dick for crack, and he was a prostitute. And it was his wife didn't give birth to his children. They have a private doctor at University of Chicago. It's all a scam. He is a CIA agent. If you go to the Wikipedia page, his first job out of Columbia or Harvard was at Business International Corporation. It is a CIA front group bought by The Economist. The man is a faggot CIA born and bred. His mother, there's naked photos of his mother as a CIA honeypot prostitute. The guy is an actor, and he's good at branding and imaging, but he is a deceiver. And if his husband is trans, It's because the CIA is interested in mind control, breaking gender, breaking sex, fucking people's brains up. It's a real program, MK Ultra. And the fact of the matter is, George Bush and his father, they assassinated JFK. And to this day, Barack Hussein Obama is a part of that legacy. The LBJ Johnson, who also killed Kennedy, thanked Obama right away today, said, your fucking library looks great. It's because they're all in cahoots. It's a giant fucking stage, and Barack Hussein Obama is a faggot dancer.
Thank you. Finally, somebody with control.
I'm sorry if I say faggot a lot. The country's 200 trillion in debt. Illinois is 200 billion in debt. If you can't say faggot, well, fuck it. Faggots.
Hey, real quick. So look, listen. I'm gonna play this real quick, but it don't. It's
Can't
not
say
really gonna
faggots.
do
Fuck
justice.
it. Faggots.
Actually, click the link in the chat, right? But this is the red carpet situation I'm talking about with John Legend and Chris.
Pick it out, read it, and answer.
Public place, you did it. This is the best or the worst? Okay, the best. Probably the Obama thing.
John! Oh, God. What is your wife talking about? I don't know.
We heard Obama in there.
So, in that clip, right? So before she even started talking, John Legend, his face, he's sweating already. And then for your wife to say, talk about the sexual activity and say, oh, you come off and you say, look, you gotta look at the video. Like, nah, I don't know what she's talking about. Like, bro, that shit look crazy. Maybe it's what you say, John?
No, you don't remember when that video came out and then all the tweets came out about how she liked to eat babies and all that shit, and they put the tweets with the video and all that shit.
Yeah.
It's like niggas want to say niggas be making some shit up, but it's like if we don't
Bro,
really
because it sounds crazy, and that's the thing with these. Well, I don't even call them conspiracies because it's facts, but that's the thing with these facts. Like, it sounds so fucking outlandish. It sounds like some shit that is filmed in Hollywood, and it's hard to believe this kind of shit, bro. Like, a lot of this shit we talk about, like, average person is like, yo, all y'all niggas is crazy.
The fact is, Barack Hussein Obama has killed millions of people through war and vaccines.
Yo, mind your man. We talking home. Thank you, sir. I'll land here. But yeah, a lot of this shit talk about is kind of crazy, and I can see why niggas look at this like, we crazy. Sir.
I'm just saying that Barack Hussein Obama, Bill Clinton, George Bush, they have killed millions through war and vaccines. They have caused this country's economy to disappear. We're 200 trillion in debt. They have destroyed this country. They are liars, frauds, criminals, and traitors.
I agree with all that. And what you said, doctor?
I said you called his ass sir. And I'm gonna call him sir too. Hey sir, you know they always been there ever since they stole this country and started, right?
Well, I think it started with JFK's assassination to 9/11 to COVID-19.
Fuck no. Fuck no. Fuck no. Ever since they came stealing little Indian princesses off the goddamn shoreline. Fuck no.
Yeah, but as soon as African Americans joined the Union Army, they became conspirators themselves. 600,000 people died during the Civil War, dying to liberate African Americans. It's your country now. But Barry Soetoro Obama is not with you. He ain't even ADOS. His mother is a CIA prostitute.
What the fuck was that introduction about 600,000 black people?
Hey, look, hold on real quick. Let's do this real quick. So,
Yeah, me too.
I'm rolling up.
Me too. Because I don't know what the fuck that introduction was.
It's good. That's why I'm keeping on, like, kind of like how we're going with the conversation and topic. All right, so doctor, you here now, right? All right, so based off the topic, what's going on right now,
Um, J.D. Vance talking greasy to Israel and not Netanyahu. Trump been talking greasy to these motherfuckers for the past couple of weeks, going back to a couple of months, right? All right, so I've been saying this two scenarios. Either they moving the way they want to move, and they really saying, look, I don't give a fuck what any administration did before us. We ain't rocking with this shit. Y'all on some bullshit, and they really doing something that nobody had the balls to do. Or two, because it's only two options for this, right? Or this shit is all a show. But if you feel like, I'm trying to bring it back to the you know. So even if you feel like it's a show, right? What do you feel like the play is? If you feel like the first option ain't what it is, what do you feel like the play is when it comes to the second option?
Who was that question for?
That was for Doctor. Cause we ain't had too many opposing people that really don't fuck with bro, like, you know what I'm saying, in the room for the most part. So I ain't trying to make it like a whole echo chamber situation. I know he don't fuck with him, so I'm trying to ask him. I know he was just talking to him. Yeah, bro.
Most
Simple and plain. The only reason there's a quote unquote beef between Israel and Trump is, I mean, or Netanyahu, or Israel by proxy, is that they've come to the realization that there is no win. Like the only win would be actually taking over Iran, and they're realizing that that shit is not going to happen. The terrain is too fucked up, too treacherous.
What the fuck are they about to
You,
do?
you hear me? You feel me? So now he's trying to.
Most
Wait a second, sir.
Sound like bro was about to get in his bag real quick. I wanted to hear that.
I mean, after I finish, I mean, y'all kick him out the room.
Nah, he in the good brother.
Doctor. I don't know if he was coming up here as troll or not, but I think he heard something about.
I don't think so. I think he just got passed.
Yeah, I think it's open. Yeah, got it.
The thing is, yeah, that's it though, bro. And Trump is trying to gracefully back the fuck out, right? And save face to the American public simultaneously.
Wait, back out of what? Back out of what?
Out of Iran.
You prove me wrong. Hey, just mute your mic and we'll put one mic on you. Pause. Chill out, man. Unless you troll, let me know now so I don't want you. Alright, cool. Go ahead, doctor.
Yeah, doctor, back out of what? What are you backing out of?
Out of Iran, period. Out of the conflict. And try to find a way to look like he actually got them to adhere to some of the things that he wanted, right? And simple and plain, Netanyahu just wanted them to continue to let full forces, you know, throughout Iran, the Strait. I believe he probably wanted them to bomb the island, like all that shit. And Trump realized that that's not smart because that's going to totally devastate all oil production in that area. Like that shit is going to cease because Iran is going to make sure that the UAE not sending no war or nothing if they should get involved like that.
So let me ask you this real quick.
So we told the nigga trolling or not.
Can I add my opinion next?
Hey, African man.
Go ahead. Yeah, we need a woman. Man, kick that Bible. Let the song voice go.
Yeah, Lord. Back to you, Steve.
No, just to answer, I guess whatever's going on between Trump and Netanyahu, we know that Israel plays a big part in AIPAC. We know that they put a lot of money into not just Republicans, but also Democrats, with Trump especially. So I think, Trump did have his back to a certain point, but, I don't want to be, let me put my tinfoil hat on. But, so if you look into Israel and, they're still waiting for their Messiah to come, right? So there's a video, it's on Twitter, I'll post it in the chat, but it was a long time ago, and they're pretty much, these rabbis are trying to speed up the events of their Messiah coming, but that would consist of them rebuilding their temple. And if you know where their temple is located, it's also located where there's a holy site for um, the Muslim community as well.
It's called the mosque.
The Dome of the Rock.
They want to destroy that and then build on there. Yeah, you're right.
Exactly, and Israel knows if they, so with this escalation between, they're highlighting, oh, we're fighting terrorists, we're fighting Islam. That's how, the regime or whatever the case may be. So, but they know that this main regime, Islamic regime, would have the major problem if they were to mess with that site. They know that it will cause, proxy.
Also in the Quran, they will never destroy it because Allah protects us all the time. So it will never happen. But that's what they're aiming for. They're digging underneath.
Yeah, so why does so many Muslims
I'm not Muslim, but I do understand your perspective.
I'm getting away from the.
Yeah, but Muslims bomb the shit
No,
out of
we're on it. We're talking about
It's not about Muslim or Christian. It's from everyone.
I know, but you just mentioned the Quran, which is Muslim.
Anyway, look, go ahead. Finish it.
Yeah, well, I understand you felt the need to, hold on to that holy site, and I'm not. I'm not for either side, so I'm just going to put that out there. But long story short, with this escalation that's happening in the Middle East, we know that Israel has been doing what they want to do regardless, and we can see that Vance said in the video, like, America is one of the only the greatest nation, I guess, supporting them. A lot of people want, like, they're calling for the arrest of Netanyahu. So with him going against Trump and escalating things with Iran, I definitely see them as, trying to definitely start something, and I'll just lay it right there. Thank you.
But I also think they have something on Donald Trump because there's no limit. They can push him.
Listen, J.D. Vance and Donald Trump are distancing themselves from Israel. They're going to get tens of thousands of more voters for Congress people at the midterms. And then the Israelis are going to attack Lebanon, and they don't give a fuck, because if the fucking Hezbollah people are attacking them, they're going to attack them back 10x. You can't stop it.
I suddenly think Trump really cares. Like, Trump will bomb the shit out of Palestine and all those Middle Eastern countries still.
Real quick. So go and doctor, because I'm trying to get like opposing views, because for the most of the room, it ain't really been no pushback on just like what Trump doing. Right? So let me ask this question one last time, and one of y'all, whoever can come off mic, can speak and answer. But I want somebody opposing, right?
That's you, bro.
When it comes to him doing what we've been asking for, it's always the conversation of we too tied in with Israel. Every president that come into that seat, they kiss the ring, they bow down to these niggas, and now we're seeing what's actually happening, which is the opposite of what we're speaking about. So when you witness this, are you in the mind state of, okay, he's actually possibly one of the first to really do what we've been wanting to be done? Or you feel like it's a show and it's a play? But if you feel like it's a show and it's a play, what is the reason?
How is it me kissing the ring?
We both just named it. I was going to get into the temple as well. That is one of the major reasons. That's the reason. Like, they want total control of the whole area, and they that's why when they made them Trump put the press on them to stop bombing Lebanon and all that shit. That's when that shit really started. Fucking the friction really began. Like,
Look, you were supposed to speak up.
But he did that multiple times before Lebanon, because every time we hear Trump speak on Israel or Netanyahu, and he's saying like, this motherfucker don't know what he's doing, he's out of control, all this shit, it's always because he's doing some bullshit that we all as a collective would agree on is some bullshit, and you just wilding because you know who's behind you.
Can I think
so. Are we not? Hold on, real quick. Are we forgetting the whole past going on 6 months that they were totally in alignment with Israel with all of the bombing?
Exactly. So what I was gonna say was, does it ever maybe like come to mind that maybe they just saying what the people want to hear?
hope and change. It's all slogans. It's all spam.
Consider none of it.
like now, like the times when he come out and say like Netanyahu doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, this that maybe it's kind of do you ever think like maybe it's a reading the room type of statement?
So let me ask you this question, 10, right? So why this whole time we supposed to have been under Israel thumb? This the first time they want to make this play. Like it's the first time with Trump to where it's just like we gotta put on this stage play because shit they happening with Biden, it ain't happen with Obama, it ain't happen with all the presidents we know we done seen that they're on the same page with these niggas. Yeah. We saying for the first time in history, it just had to be Trump to where now we gotta put on the show.
So can I let me yeah, I don't know how true that is, but do you okay, so when Trump was running, would you agree that he was saying everything that pretty much we wanted to hear, and you know he was speaking like this America first?
He was speaking to the collective unconscious of the herd.
Yeah, exactly. He was speaking to the collective.
Hey, can I give you a straight answer? Talk about Obama, talk about Donald Trump. It's not even a touching on America, and it's not America first anymore. It's Britain first now.
Okay, cool. So him running on certain things that's going outside of the conversation. I just want to get a real solid answer when it comes to every president before this motherfucker. Everybody that moved the way Israel told them to move, did everything they wanted them to do, and then now we're hold on, let me say this. We're finally seeing something that looked like a shit to where it's like, hold on, this nigga ain't really putting up with this shit.
Yeah.
If you say it's a part of a play, I would also want you to explain to me like why it didn't happen with Biden.
I got you.
Trump is moving further with Israel than against them.
So what I guess what I said that to say that we've seen what's happened before, and now people are becoming more conscious and catching on, and so he said the things that we wanted to hear, but now we're starting to see that it's actually it's the same. You know, like Israel is controlling all this shit. But when he was running, he said all the things that we wanted to hear. You know, we saw the shit that happened in the previous administrations and things like that. But everybody's starting to like really catch on more. We have the internet, we have AI, we have more access to information, and people are becoming more aware. Maybe, I don't know. I could be wrong though.
Okay, so pretty much you really don't got a way to explain it. It's just kind of like the way you're thinking about it, right? You don't really got a way to explain it. That's what I'm trying to figure out. And I feel like this should be an easy question to answer, being that this nigga is supposedly a part of the program. He gonna fly the guy with Israel regardless. But there's no explanation I'm hearing that can like explain the way shit is moving right now. Not only with Trump, but we got Hillary Clinton coming out saying the same shit, doubling down, even though we know how they was rocking with them. So I'm trying to find an explanation why now everybody.
Hold on.
But saying it and doing it is different.
Here's another thing though.
No,
you can go all the way. You can go all the. You can go.
Hold on, let the Expo go real quick. There's a lot of niggas talking right now, including me. Go ahead, Expo.
My bad, I ain't been interrupted. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, he got all the information that he needed. It's like the algorithm been working on that whole program for a long time with these people. Plus, they know the jig is up. So it's just like all of them, everybody is having their own issues. You gotta think. I mean, down to the artists, they're all having a lot of issues because the jig is up. Everything. Y'all get what I'm saying? Like, they're in danger. They know that these people basically know everything about America.
It's really not that complicated. Like simply, they're on the same program, but different actors. Whether it's Hillary Clinton, Obama, Trump, they're on the same program.
Okay, so this is where we get to the basis of the conversation. I'm glad like people actually saying things, right? So Gia just said it's the same program, right? So Gia, what program is it and who's running it?
Israel is running it. America first thing is a whole bullshit. That's it. It's Israel first. That's it. They're taking lives, they're killing people, and nobody can say anything. Period. Okay. What do you think? What do you think?
I agree with that, and let me just have this one last discourse with it real quick, right? So, all right, so they're running everything. So are they running everything because they infiltrated the United States? Or are they running everything because they have military power around the world? Why would you say, because me personally, I believe they're not running everything, and I believe if you believe in manifestation, they're not really doing shit. And the fact that we believe they doing it, and we keep saying it, we manifesting that shit more for them. That's just my opinion. But what's yours?
There's a lot of things that
what's yours and why you would say they
There's a lot of things that we do not know. Epstein files is one of them. They have a lot of things or videos. Or they have something in America where America became the bitch of Israel right now. So we know some stuff, but we don't know everything.
Did you see what happened in the United States when the Epstein files was released? Did you see what happened?
They didn't know everything. They released some.
Well, okay, so when the files were released and they said like because these are in the files that they're eating babies and all this weird shit.
How people moved on.
So Gia, hold on real quick. So Gia, what happened in the United States when they released those files?
And then suddenly it was like we're gonna attack Iran.
No, what happened when they released the files was nothing. Niggas went back to their job. They started going back to work again. They started playing their game system. They kept going to the
immediately. They distracted everyone with, we're gonna attack Iran because they said like they have.
Nothing happened. I'm telling you.
All right, real quick. We're dancing around the simple fact that the biggest contributor to our economy is the petrodollar, right? And the fact that this war is destabilizing world economic oil trade, right? And Israel doesn't give a fuck because the bulk of their economy doesn't come from oil. The bulk of their economy comes from the tech sector. So what they can do is afford to have this war. They don't give a fuck because their economy is not suffering. The reason Donald Trump has to make the deal is because our economy depends on the fucking oil business and the petrodollar. That's simple and plain, bro.
Hey, doctor, so let me ask you a question real quick, right? So when the petrodollar was dismantled, because you know what it was, right? We on the same page? Yo.
I'm here.
Okay, so when that shit popped off, and what was it, 22? When they said, fuck y'all, the petrodollar, we done with y'all not gonna be able to move like this no more. When did it get reinstated, or when did they come back? Because I might have missed something. I'm just seeing if you know. Well, I'm asking doctor because he brought the petrodollar. All right, well, he probably looking up or something. Go ahead.
And also, quick question.
If you
that's the question.
If you didn't know, all major Gulf exports are still through the petrodollar, including Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Kuwait, Iraq, and Qatar. What are you talking about again?
How much weight does it? I know it. So here's the thing, because before you came in, I laid out the whole situation when it came to that, when it came to the Prince of Saudi, all that, right? So what's the weight? What's the level scale if you're talking about the petrodollar that has when it comes to the way we're able to move and do what we want to do, or can stop us from moving how we move? Like, what's the weight of that? If you could put it on a graph, a scale, how would you weigh that? How would you weigh that?
You're gonna have to rephrase the question.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, doctor, I think you should say that whole thing you said about the petrol. I think you should say all that shit one more time.
What happened, bro? They're under the farce that countries don't operate through the petrodollar anymore. That shit was only for like a brief second
I think maybe a year. After that, they went right back to that shit. What are you talking about? All those countries I just named.
Hey, why they stop though? What was the cause of that? What was the cause of
Because
that?
they wanted independence and they wanted to get from up out of that shit. And then after certain proxy wars was waged and certain heads of states were eliminated, then they were right back on it. What are we talking about?
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. That's why I be bringing up Saudi Arabia, right? And I'm just gonna say, do y'all research on the Saudi prince? Do y'all research on the Vegas shooting? And do y'all research on when the Saudi prince left Vegas and went back to Saudi Arabia, why the 7 families died? So I get the surface level explanation for certain things, but I be trying to see who really be going into what's really going on when it come behind that.
Go into it then.
Well, I did. This would be like the 4th or 5th time I did it tonight, so I don't want to keep on repeating it. But I'll just say, Doctor, even to you, listen to what I'm saying and looking at it, you can say like, fuck it, whatever, you ain't saying shit. But I feel like unless you go into that, you would have to come and have a different view, or maybe you won't have a different view, but most likely you would on what that shit was really about. And then now, even with separating from Israel, it plays even a major part because now we talking about the whole Saudi Arabia connection to 600 billion from them to the United States, the 250 million in arms and weapons to the United States. Like that, now it's a different conversation. You see, like what's happening today. Shit, I would say this nigga lined this up to move like this from the time he got in office. He just let them keep wilding out so they give them enough rope to hang themselves. And that's what it is.
I still think it's multiple agendas going on. We got that Jones, that occult. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. Maybe that. I don't know if you ever watched any of the videos I sent, put in the chat too.
Yeah, we dialogue. My bad. I was trying to.
No, you good. I'm just saying, like,
Sure, what's going on over there?
yeah, these niggas is fighting. It's like how we watching the World Cup. So we see everybody. It's just like the NBA. Like we can look at politics as like the league, but every country got their own their own franchise, and everyone's fighting to be the champion. Because that move that Trump pulled, like even them saying that, yo, the UAE is the one they're literally calling the UAE the second Israel. They're the ones that's been dropping the bombs. They're the ones that dropped that shit on Qatar. So they're the ones that's bombing Iran. They're bombing Lebanon.
Wait, dang. So Israel said that, or who said that?
Trump said that about. I'm about to take this call, but Trump said that about the UAE. It was in one of the links that I dropped. He said it in the G7. I'll be right back.
Yeah, we went left from that when he was talking about the dialogue. But yeah, they just be the questions I'll be trying to get answers to, bro. And I feel like at the end of the day, when people say how they feel, I feel like you should lead with saying, look, this is my opinion. And I think most of these conversations will go more smooth, bro.
Well, why you not doing that?
Why ain't do it? I've been stating
why you not leading with that?
I've been stating my opinion all night long. You just got here.
You've been asking questions instead of being straight up.
Because earlier, I don't know if you was here, the room was in one direction. Everybody was kind of agreeing on shit, and I'm trying to get niggas I know don't fuck with Trump or whatever the case is to lean in on the conversation and for them to have their opinion. Because the shit get weird when it's just like, all right, and everybody just saying the same shit. Like if you ain't hear me earlier when I said go, doctor, anybody I know oppose certain shit, like I just want to hear what y'all got to say about it. But I've been doing that all day since we had this conversation, bro.
It's my opinion that all communication is political. All communication is projection. All communication is spam. And all communication is hypnosis. Barry Soetoro Obama, he pushed the vax on us. We need serious mass arrests in this country. The COVID-19 ZAV is the greatest carcinogenic event in human history. Millions of people died in 2020, 21 from the vaccine, not from some Wuhan fucking virus that Dr. Fauci and Bill Gates were building. No, it was the vaccine, you dummies.
Who was the president that it came out of?
Exactly.
Dr. Fauci.
Who funded the biolab? What the fuck are y'all talking about? What's
They go about to put COVID on Trump, and then we gonna need them to explain it.
I'm very worried that the Israelis are going to attack Iran again. I'm worried that the Israelis aren't going to respect the deal that appears to be in process.
A few seconds later, a shower of glass.
Well,
The doorman of the Statler Hotel
Operation
yelled to
Warp
the
Speed.
Nazis for help with unethical experiments. These are the 50 most insane and disturbing CIA facts you
He did. No, but he did offer like different.
This Johnson, you know what, never mind. I'm high and I'm about to start defending Trump.
Oh, so which thing we want?
No. Wait. See, that's the crazy thing, right? So what I'm gonna do is, and people that might be having a different view, I'll see if y'all do the same thing, right? What I'm gonna do is, we can play his actual words. We can play his actual sentiment when it came to the vaccine, because if y'all feel like it was some bullshit and it was pushed on us and it's propaganda, all this shit, whatever the case is, even Operation Warp Speed, I feel like people don't even really look into that shit. Because if you really look into that shit and you look at cabinets and everybody that's around, like, you would definitely have a different opinion. But how does it make sense when President is coming on live TV and saying, I feel like you don't need a vaccine. I feel like there's holistic options. So if we listen to him say that, we play that clip, then we say
Nazis for help with unethical experiments. These are the 50 most insane and disturbing CIA facts you never knew. Number 50. The CIA Assassination Manual, drafted in 1952, states most efficient accident.
Like, what else do you want? Like, the president say, listen, you can take a holistic route, fuck a vaccine. Did he not say that?
His action said otherwise.
Okay, and the action you talking about is what? Operation Warp Speed? What you talking about?
Yes. Because here's the one thing, you can't talk one thing and say something else. Like, your actions gonna have to line. Otherwise, either your actions don't mean shit or your words don't mean shit.
Hey, Brian, so Operation Warp Speed was put together, structured, put in a package, all by Trump. That's how that went down?
Operation Warp Speed. Operation Warp.
Because I'm the one who brought up
With
Operation
unethical
Warp Speed. I wasn't bringing it to tie Trump.
Nazis for help with unethical experiments. These are the 50 most insane and disturbing CIA facts you never knew.
Democratic policies that had people forcing to distance, and a lot of red states were still open, like Florida. So I'm not even gonna dive that deep into it. I just brought up Operation Warp Speed because I don't recall Obama being a part of the vaccine.
The vaccine program and the funding was launched by the Pentagon under the George Bush administration. Tens of billions a year in annual defense funding for biological and chemical weapon research. It's all bullshit. Barack Hussein Obama helped push it.
Obama was a part of the manufacturing of the disease. We're not talking about linking him to the vaccine. It's not what anyone's saying. Like those biolabs, the gain of function with Fauci, all of those emails that came out that niggas just want to act oblivious to. Like, that shit was manufactured in Ukraine. A whole bunch of biolabs are all along the borders, and they're released. Like, we did all of this shit the whole 2020, 2021, and 2022. Like, what are we doing here?
Well, besides the vaccines, I think there's a. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I also want to say that he was a part of the SARS-2 whole epidemic as well, and COVID-19 is SARS-2. So, yeah, it's just SARS-2. It's literally SARS-2 repackaged, and then the vaccine doesn't even have the whatever is in the actual, strand of the what is it called? Of the disease. Like, it's not even a part of it.
Damn, I'm at a response to my phone, but I had to get on my other line. But don't know how we gonna put this all on one person. That shit kind of crazy.
Well, besides the vaccine, we know like they're trying to, because I think the guys
With unethical experiments. These are the 50 most insane and disturbing CIA facts you never knew. Number 50. The CIA Assassination Manual, drafted in 1952, states the most efficient accident in simplest.
So wait, so I'm not
Most secretive organization. Most secretive organization.
When we know there's a target sitting in a bar, and we know more about the target than they know about us, that's a scenario that we call information superiority. So we can walk in there, and we can launch a surprise attack, and basically...
So, I was on Pierce Morgan a couple of days ago.
Hey, right there!
Invocation of Satan, hail, Almighty One.
That's what I'm trying to
Ruler.
Look, I'm not pushing no narrative. I just be asking these questions because be like, yo, shit, I could miss some shit. I might have missed some shit. But I'm still not seeing how even when it comes to that, like, he's the full force behind it. Like, yo, this nigga pushed the facts on all of America. I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, he started Operation Warp Speed under him.
There's a video of Obama, Clinton, and George Bush pushing the vaccines on all of America. They put up public broadcasting messages of the three presidents saying, get vaxxed. It'll save you. It'll save your community. It'll protect your grandma. It's all a fucking scam. And it's to depopulate and sterilize our population.
Well, I agree with that point. They definitely have celebrities coming out and trying to tell the masses. I mean, they was giving out free cheeseburgers for vaccines, so they was pulling out all the...
They had lotteries, multi-million-dollar lotteries. Go get vaxxed, you get a lottery ticket, you can become a millionaire. The cities and towns were doing that. It is the biggest mass carcinogenic event in human history. They did it to the whole planet. Pfizer, Moderna, J&J, 100 other manufacturers, Indian manufacturers. It's all proprietary, all patented. It was plandemic, scamdemic. It cost us $10 trillion. We need mass arrests, and we need them now. But Kash Patel and J.D. Vance, they're faggots. They're never going to do it.
And the Dragon Pharma.
Look, are you gay? Hey, I ain't gonna hold you. That's why I stopped having these strong combos a long time ago, bro.
Hey, bro, that's why I just stayed on mute. I'm like, man, look, I'm not about to start.
Yeah, John, they did that in California. They did a raffle for the lottery for the vaccines.
He the one that held off on giving the vaccine as long as he could.
Who held off? He the one that started the program to develop it.
He held off on giving it.
He kind of, yeah, he
Bill
did.
Gates, Bill Gates did. Bill Gates was at the forefront. Him and Fauci were at the forefront. And
Trump was the one that actually put it through as something for the government to develop.
Hey, Glenn, let me ask you a question, all right?
Go ahead.
Would you trust Donald Trump to perform any type of surgery on you if you was in a fucked up position? Would you trust him to do that?
To perform a surgery? No, he's not a doctor.
He's not a doctor. So as the president, when we see how Operation Warp Speed went down and who he leaned on and relied on was who? The medical professionals. So that's why I be like, bro, I be like, yo, not even a doctor, not even a scientist, not even been in none of this shit. And y'all saying like, yo, he pushed. No, bro. He did what he was supposed to do. And it's no way to know everybody on that side, their background,
I'm 38 years old. I don't want to settle or compromise. I have a degree and a job and I'm single. I just want to find someone who is also single. My annual income is 500,000 yen. I can't
to get vaccinated or
I'm 38 years old. I don't want to settle or compromise.
People that was in that situation too that actually didn't take it and they brought them back in.
Operation Warp Speed doesn't have to do with the mandatory, what your jobs require, like having the mandation as far as taking your job. I mean,
Hey,
as far as taking the vaccine.
Did you take it?
What, the vaccine?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm diabetic.
Alright, I ain't even gonna go there then.
Yeah, I'm high risk. But, anywho, that's beside the point. Like, I get if you have a problem with the mandate side of things, that's actually not on Trump. The mandate didn't come out till 2021 while Biden was president. If you want to put on for, Biden on the, with the mandate thing, you definitely do that. But we can't act like Trump didn't have a part in the vaccine when he's the one that pushed the government to develop a vaccine.
No. So the part y'all leaving out,
It was a military effort.
the part y'all leaving out is that the vaccine in question did not have an mRNA, while the other two did have an mRNA. That's the part y'all leaving out. I feel like, and I think if you really look back at what happened, you'll see that he gave niggas an option. Like even the shit that they was they was pushing, the nigga was talking about zinc, ivermectin, the nigga even said the shit about bleach, and everybody went crazy about that when it was a fact. The nigga said, he even said sunlight, bro. Nigga gave people options. It was pushed by one person and mandated by one person, and we're not gonna rewrite history.
That nigga said there's holistic options for you.
Every alternative that he gave is in medical journals of the past that actually fucking work. And the medical professionals that he had on stage that everybody was listening to ain't mentioned shit. Ain't nothing about none of the alternatives he gave. That man ain't fucking dumb. He had already researched that shit. He got medical patents his damn self.
Trump got medical patents.
Yeah, look it up. Remember when he was talking about putting a tube with the light down your throat, into your lungs, and all that other shit? That came from Tesla. It was used way back in the days.
What patent Trump got?
Now everybody got.
It's not about the Trump patent. It's Pfizer, Moderna, J&J. The Indian manufacturers.
Well, the Indian pharma.
I talked to my mother. I said, "You got vaccinated?" She said, "Yeah, I went to the firehouse. They vaccinated me at the community center." I said, "What? A fireman and vaccinate? You didn't even go to a doctor?"
A firefighter vaccine.
So, as people are saying what they saying, you should be coming off mic.
The vaccine gave Russians, but not the good.
Okay, facts. But that's how these conversations go, right? When people are saying what they saying, when they land, you come off mic and you say you're wrong. This is not correct because of A, B, and C.
Clown world.
And the conversations always get weird when niggas just say, "Oh, you just this, you booty clapping, you A, B, and C." Like, cool. Like, I ain't mad at your opinion how you feel about certain shit. But as it's going, and when these points are getting ran through, it needs to be stopped by where that person mutes up, gets off mic, and you should say, "Bro, this is why you're wrong." Like, is that not how these conversations should go on my trip?
Yeah, that's green bean fascism censorship world. Green beaners think they know everything.
What was that? I don't know, bro. I'm just saying. That's why I be feeling like the conversations just be like never ending loop because it's like, bro, niggas been talking this whole time saying certain things, and it's like, hey, y'all just defending this nigga. Cool. You had that opinion, but like, why do you feel like that? What was said that you feel like somebody is just defending him and just saying like, whatever. Like, why is it? Because bro, you could teach somebody something. There's somebody that's saying something that you could be like, yo, this is why you wrong. You could put them on game. So like, I feel like, is that not the better route to take and just come off mic and say like, y'all niggas is just defending niggas? We all trying to get to a common ground and figure some shit out. So I don't know.
What was on that lane? Wait, I'm double checking that right now. I might have to take that back. I'm double checking it.
We need to arrest Dr. Fauci. We need to arrest Bill Gates and Borla from Pfizer. Let's start there.
Didn't Biden pardon Fauci?
I was just about to say that. That's going to be kind of hard.
Yeah, Biden did pardon them. Yep.
Why he do that?
Because he knows that they're guilty. And Trump was coming after them. Not only that, like, when Trump got into office, didn't he dismantle the food, the us being a part of the World Economic Forum?
He pulled us out of who and he started to break down the CDC.
And the CDC. Okay, that's because Kennedy, Mr. Kennedy, he did a study, and he's been studying vaccines and a lot of the medical issues, and he's been winning a lot of lawsuits prior to him being a part of the administration. And what he came up with was that Israel created a vaccine, which is what they did, and they administered it, it only attacks people that are not a part of their bloodline or something. Like it has very specific people that that are in mind, or blood strands, or I don't know how technical it gets, but basically he said that on record. And this is when he got initiated into the administration, and Elon was doing his thing with finding out about Doge, and getting down to the bottom of where the money is going. So I think that Trump is not not necessarily playing a game, but understanding more about what devil he's dealing with and how to deal with them and how far they'll go. So that's why I feel like he's switching up his tone, because it's like, okay, how far are you willing to go? Are you trying to like just kill everybody in sight in the Middle East, or are you just trying to like get Israel back and have an issue with Iran? Now it's leaking into basically the entire Middle East.
Hey, so no, I agree when it comes to the whole situation, but for different reasons, right? Because when we see how the WHO is moving when it comes to the summit of the future, the pact of the future, that Benjamin Netanyahu was able to walk into that New York building, even though he was guilty of war crimes, and the president at that time let him just do that shit on his own. When it comes to that, they passed everything using, and any of y'all can look this up and listen to what I'm saying. They passed it using the silent procedure. The World Health Organization, they passed all this shit under our nose using the silent procedure, right? One thing that the World Health Organization would have been able to do is classify any pandemic or epidemic under whatever reason they wanted to. Don't believe me? Go to the World Health Organization website right now. One of those causes that they said they can claim to be a pandemic or an epidemic, infodemic. So they said if there's too much information we don't deem to be valuable or true, that will put you in a state of a pandemic or epidemic. It's not me. It's just what they said. And why the fuck are we even wanting to be a part of that shit? And if we get removed from that shit, why does it have to be a play? Why can't it be like, yo, shit, we didn't fuck with that? We don't want somebody telling us that the information on the internet is just false and they get into whatever they get into. I don't get it. It's just like, this is just an accident. Like, I don't know, bro.
Hey, who was the one that said he had patents? That was who said that?
Who said what?
Trump had the patents on the medical.
It was a girl.
You said what?
Oh, was that me?
That wasn't me. Again, I corrected myself. That was Donald L. Trump. But Donald L. Trump and Donald John Trump have collaborated.
Okay, yeah, because I like to be factual on my post listening. I'm like, hold up, like let me double check that. Then I put the patent link in the chat, so anybody that wanted to search there. And then I put the original clip where he said what he said in the chat, and I was looking to see if the patents and everything. So I correct myself also.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't see anything at the U.S. Patent Office with that nigga.
Yeah, that's why I dropped the rest of that shit I dropped in the chat for further reading.
See, Fauci's in trouble because he was actively engaged in covering it up. And he was funding through EcoHealth Alliance and Peter Strzok It's a big business. It's not, these weapon biodefense labs, they're offensive weapon lab systems, global, in 30 countries. As a taxpayer, you're going to work 3 out of 5 days a year to fund the military industrial complex, the Medicare, Medicaid industrial complex, the judicial, legal, political industrial complex. You're a slave in this country because the country is now 40 trillion in debt. If you own a home, your property taxes over the next 10 years are going to be hundreds of thousands of dollars. The system is broken. It's upside down, and now it's become a debt slave economy. If we don't have politicians willing to file federal bankruptcy to discharge public debt and rein in the spending, it has become a communist slave state, not laissez-faire capitalism. It has become a communist gulag slave system. It's called altruism, socialism, sacrificing yourself for others for others. It's a scam. Affordability is a scam. It's a spam. It's a communication spam. And these socialist, criminal, liberal, progressive Democrats are fraudsters, liars, and spammers.
And if they'll take money from the ADL, they'll take money from you. And APAC. Those two organizations.
You're worried about 10 million Jews trying to defend themselves from hardcore Muslim terrorists, jihadists. Your Democrat industrial complex in this country is modern day terrorism. They are domestic enemies.
Defend themselves.
They do overdo it. You can't lie.
Well, it's force multipliers. The U.S. government has the same policy. If we lose 10,000, our enemies are going to lose 100,000.
It's not that they're expanding outward, and that's not defense.
It's proactive defense. When a rocket comes into your backyard and kills 30 school children, well, there's going to be some Jews that got the weapons, the technology, and the will to go kill, to stop that from happening, to create a security buffer.
Sound like you a Zionist, honestly.
Wait, but do you really think Iran has the military equipment that can reach America?
Not Iran. They can hit Europe.
Say it, tell it. He's been saying it since the 90s. Iran is 1 month away. They're 6 months away from a nuclear weapon. 30 years of that shit.
Hey, Glenn, you know what else BB been saying since the 90s? That I don't even really got to worry about the United States. Like, they just like a little, you know what I'm saying? I can do whatever I want with them. You know what I'm saying? We had that whole video when they were recording him when he went to, I forgot where it was. But that's why we asking these questions, bro. I'm not, like I said, I'm not even trying to take a stance. I just want somebody to explain their thoughts and feelings on what they feel like is really going on, being that now all this Israel, United States connection, gang banging, we all for one. Like, why do y'all feel like, or whoever, I ain't speaking to nobody specifically, just like it's cap. That's all I want to know. Cause like, hey, it could open my mind to something. But like, why do you feel like it's cap? You feel like it's cap again?
Yeah, like, let me say this. BB been barking up the tree for damn near 30 years trying to get somebody to back Israel on some shit. Trump is the first person to actually put some shit to it. Bombed them last year in the summer and said we completely took out their nuclear structure, but then somehow back when it came to the winter, that bombing that we did in the summer didn't end up paying out, so now we got to attack them. Trump is the first person to actually go as far as BB wanted him to go. So I can't say he's standing up against the man. He's gone further than anybody else did. But now you got
what happened in Gaza when Biden was in office?
What happened in Gaza?
Yeah.
You talking about October 7th?
Just Gaza in general. What happened to Gaza when Biden was in office? When you say go as far as he wanted him to,
with Iran,
like Trump, you feel like Trump went further than the last administration did? And look, I ain't gangbanging, I ain't picking a side. I'm just trying to ask questions. You feel like this current administration went further than the last
say Gaza.
Well, I'm asking about it.
I was talking about Iran. Like that's an entirely different thing.
Yeah, but it's still on topic though, because all right. So let me ask you this: what do you feel like was more of a genocide, Gaza or Iran?
Gaza.
Okay, so if you feel like Gaza was more of a genocide,
Iran isn't a genocide. That's just an attack. That's a war.
I agree with you, but if you feel like Gaza was more of a genocide, who did that go down under? Because you said them taking as far as they wanted to. So I would think if we can agree
with
on that.
Iran.
What was that?
With Iran. I said Trump like went as far as Bibi wanted it to with Iran. I didn't mention Gaza.
Well, well, the way I'm taking it, correct me if I'm wrong, when you say Trump went as far as he wanted to, you're saying there's no other previous president that went as far as Netanyahu wanted them to go.
With Iran.
Okay, if you're saying specifically with Iran, okay.
Yes.
I
gotta repeat that shit.
Yeah, you good, bro. We just having a conversation, right? But when I heard you say as far as they wanted him to, I'm just thinking about everything in general. I'm not thinking about just Iran. I'm thinking about how far Israel was willing to take it with whoever and whatever previous president was in a line with that.
Hey guys, can I get in the convo?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Iran was not Israel's plan. They have shared interests. Israel.
That's what I was kind of like thinking, but I ain't want to
Okay,
look,
go
ahead.
In the convo,
Why you talking about people not leading with their opinions, but you not?
I'll try and
Yeah, hold on.
Let Randy go.
Okay, so yes, last year the U.S. and Israel dealt a major blow to Iran's nuclear program. This year's war is about a new topic, Iran's ballistic missile program, which is separate from its nuclear program. Iran has been ramping up its ballistic missile production and targeting against Israel. And so that's the difference between last year's war and this one. Plus,
Damn, who moved him to the group? Hey, Randy, I'm bringing you back up. I don't know who moved you. I don't see anybody in history moving you, so I don't know if you want to say all these on your own, but go ahead.
He might have clicked it by himself by mistake.
Go ahead, Randy.
What are you saying?
obviously somebody doesn't like what I'm saying and moved me to the goo.
Well, we can see the history.
Well, I didn't move. You can see the history. You can see that I didn't move myself.
Chill out, man. Just say what you gotta say. Keep it.
I didn't move myself.
That's
Thank
cool.
you.
I'm
I'm
past
chill.
that now. So say what you gotta say. Keep it.
Okay, I was in the middle of saying, okay, a couple of mistruths have been spoken here. Number one, this year's war is about the ballistic missile program. Number two, Israel is not expanding its territory. They're clearing out Hezbollah strongholds. There's a difference. As far as, Iran having a nuclear weapon is not just a threat to Israel. Iran is a jihadist country. They are not rational players in the way that other countries are. The normal theories of, in other words, they are willing to sacrifice half their population if necessary, if it furthers their agenda. They're not just another country trying to get nuclear weapons. They are a jihadist, Islamist extremist country, and if the world is safer with them not having a nuclear program. The Trump deal that he just signed with them, the capitulation deal, makes the world less safe. Okay, the world is not safer with Iran having a nuclear program. The world is safer with Iran not having a nuclear program.
And this is where my balance of not being biased or just looking at one side comes into play, because I'm a completely disagree. Like, that's why I be saying, like, I just want people to prove like what they talking about, right? Bro, me personally, I have no belief that Iran had any type of nuclear weapons, no capability of bombing the United States, fucking the United States up, fucking Israel up, I'm not gonna believe that. Even if Trump said it, like, and he did, like, I don't believe it. I don't believe that.
You don't believe Iran has a nuclear program?
Hey, hold on.
No, not at all.
What country is at war with most of the
Trump's
Middle
only interest in anything nuclear over there in Iran is to obtain the fucking material to test the isotopes because Hillary sold the fucking uranium one shit to Russia and Russia passed it off to fucking Iran.
I would
That
agree
is
with
his
that
main
more.
interest when it comes to anything fucking nuclear in Iran.
I would agree with that more versus than we just sitting here saying like, yo, Iran got all this nuclear equipment, they about to fuck America up, all that shit. No, I'm not agreeing with that because there's no evidence, there's no proof of that. I don't care who said it. Trump, current administration, there's no proof of that shit.
Here's the thing about it. Israel does all the attacking that it accuses that Iran of wanting to do too.
What I would say, just to kind of agree with Randy to a certain point, because I'm not biased, I don't think Iran is competition for America military, but I do know Iran is known to fund little terrorist groups, Hezbollah, the IRGC, the Islamic Brotherhood. They're funding group actively right now in Congo, where there are some Muslim terrorists, part of different organizations, like in Nigeria. If you guys recall, Trump having to bomb Nigeria because of what was going on over there. But I would say Iran is not as innocent as we are trying to portray.
Y'all,
Israel under Netanyahu has a lot to do with that too.
Yeah, but here's the thing though, like
They're not innocent at all. We just can't pretend that we're. My bad.
No, you good. Let me just say this real quick, bro. Cause now I'm speaking on something that, as I was previously speaking, that you would think I would be on the same side, but I'm like on the opposite side with it. I don't believe it. I don't believe Iran has anything, and I believe if Iran had anything, they would have been did what they was. Ain't they chanting death to America? If they over there chanting death to America, why has they not went ahead and went through what they planned? Why have they not went ahead and went through and bombing us, bombing our allies, whatever the case is? Like, it seems like it's just weak. There's nothing going on, and it reminds me of 9/11 when we see here saying these niggas got weapons of mass destruction, bro.
And to add to that, why are they chanting death to America?
Well, let me ask you this: do you think that North Korea has a nuclear weapon?
I feel like anybody. I don't feel like they do. I feel like anybody that has a nuclear weapon, looking at how the world is being ran right now, and looking at who's in control and in charge, if you really,
the niggas gotta have something. Fully, everybody
man,
else is
well,
something.
hey, look, it's a possibility, right? But I'm just saying, like, looking at how things are moving, why nobody busting a move? What they waiting for? So somebody
Because
comes with
that's
That's like how people in Atlanta, everybody got guns, so you think twice about pulling guns. Everywhere else, it's like
That's
you
how
the
it's
bully,
working.
and you the only nigga with a gun, you bully everybody. But when niggas got the same artillery you got, you think twice about that shit.
They
They
sure
not have a
mutual
nuke.
destruction.
They got something, bro. They got something that'll level this motherfucker.
Hey, to me that sounds like they really ain't got shit because if you feel like everybody got what you got and you feel like somebody might have a little bit more than you, you already feeling like shit. I really can't even do nothing. This is my last resort. Like, okay, if it really do pop off, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and push the button. But it's not a scenario of shit. I can just shut this shit down if I want to.
This is short mutual destruction, what Chop is describing.
You say what?
It's called a short mutual destruction.
Yeah, exactly.
Where it's pretty much like, it's like if one person press off with it, the other person press off and they're both gonna die. It's like a short. It's 100%, and nobody about to survive. So don't nobody actually want to do it, but they also don't want to get rid of it because they don't want the other person to be able to take them off.
That still sound like a last resort to me, though. That still sound like
A managed proxy nation is not to make a move until they're instructed to make a move.
But everything changes once you have a martyr, a system that praises martyrhood. In other words, North Korea has a nuclear weapon, but they understand mutual deterrence. They understand that if they use it, it's going to be used against them. Iran is the first country that believes in shaheeds, martyrs. They are willing to sacrifice half their country in the interest of advancing their Islamic resolution. Mutual deterrence will not work with Iran. They are different than every other country.
Is that what Israel not?
Why they so is what that's what I'm
They literally bombs on themselves.
They literally did that. So
Who literally did what? Just so I understand.
I mean, you're sacrificing your own people for I don't know if you're a part of that.
When did Israel sacrifice their own people?
You're doing it right now because Iran has been bombing you guys, like literally, like it's still going on.
Well, they're at war.
Yeah, it's a war, but it's provoked. You guys provoked them. You guys just did them. This last time, there was so many peace deals.
Iran is funding proxies, Hezbollah and Hamas. It's time to get rid of the head of the snake.
No, the thing about
Israel helped with the funding of Hezbollah and Hamas.
Hold on 1 second, D. Hold on 1 second. You guys.
Like I said earlier, the nigga is Zionist.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Let's just call a spade a spade. Like, you guys have been the aggressor. You've been the aggressor, since October 7th. And that's the God honest truth.
Okay, first of all, I'm not Israeli, so when you say you got...
You're a Zionist, though.
Okay, first of all, you learned a big word there. By you saying I'm a Zionist, what does a Zionist mean?
What? It means a person that believes...
But
I'm calling you that.
He said it so that he responds.
Somebody's called me a Zionist. I just want to know what they mean. What does Zionist mean?
Hold on, bro. He said it, so let's he respond. What you mean, bro?
Yeah, a Zionist is someone who believes in Israel's right to exist. I mean, personally, I think it's someone who believes in Israel. Yeah, well, Israel's right to exist at the expense of other countries or whatever.
Oh, now you're not an altruist.
Yes, people are trying to remove their existence. So they were at peace. October 6th, they were at peace. October 7th, they were attacked. At any time, Hamas could have released the hostages and ended the war, but Hamas held on to the hostages and killed them and raped them and did a lot of shit. So yeah,
Y'all who help fund Hamas.
It's a complicated situation, though. It's very complicated, though. You just simplified it.
But you a Zionist. Does it matter if he's from Mars or Uranus? If he's got an accurate opinion, it doesn't matter if he is from Uranus.
Listen, October 6th, there was a ceasefire. Okay? Israel left Gaza in 2006. Right away, Gaza elected Hamas. Hamas declared war on Israel and fired thousands of rockets into Israel between 2006 and 2023. These are facts. Now you can say, oh, Israel had no...
They had no military, though.
But they had rockets.
This didn't start
There were
October
50,000 people in Hamas. When you say they have no military, they sure do have a military.
They don't have a military. And
There's 50,000 soldiers in Hamas.
okay,
They don't have airplanes, but they have a military.
you guys have America.
And that's by the help of fucking Benjamin Netanyahu. The Prince of Qatar already exposed his ass for Operation Black Raven.
Okay, but you guys have America.
Right.
So
And
it's,
Hamas has Iran.
so then it's equal. It matches up. You can't just be
Okay.
like.
So
And
we've
then
come a long way.
Yeah, we've come a long way. I mean, hey, listen. If this is how if I live in America, so look, however y'all get it done, right? I'm just stating the obvious and the facts. The facts, I learned the facts from you guys or from that group. You know, the rabbis, they do have YouTube pages now. So if you guys don't want people to know this information, don't share it. It's easy to find it.
There's nothing else. I'm trying to understand.
Randy,
What should they be sharing?
Randy, I'm gonna give you the mic because the mic is gonna be solely on you when I ask this question, right? When you make this statement about them 50,000. I want to know, where did you get it from? What news source you got it from? Yeah, yo, Chacha. What news source you got it from? I just want you to put in the chat. When you say 50,000, I want to know where you got it from. Are you able to put that in the chat for us to see and view? To be on the same page with you.
No, this is like 1950s, 1960s. This is not 3,000 years ago.
There's people still alive from it.
Like, they, come.
Well, I hope you all know that black rep.
People's houses in New York.
No, you can't talk. Answer that question.
I tried to interrupted me.
You can't speak.
She started talking about people's houses in New York.
Where you got
It's that.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Because you heard me talking.
I know, and then I tried to answer, and she cut me off. She started talking about people taking houses in New York.
Okay, but before we proceed, can you drop in the chat before you?
Okay, I'm gonna answer you now. Here's the deal.
No. Don't.
No. I'm not your intern. I'm not your intern, bro.
Okay, so drop in the chat your evidence of that 50K. You can come back on stage. Like, why we gotta do this? Like, we know how these conversations go, bro. Like, what?
Nah, my nigga, the chat mine. So y'all ain't gonna let me say shit on the stage. The chat mine.
Yeah, why you be so emo, bro? What's wrong with y'all?
Nah.
How you gonna say ain't nobody let you speak, bro? Your mic is overpowering, and you can let you speak the whole night. What are you talking about?
That shit crazy.
It ain't. Only when you speak, then you shut the fuck up.
Randy, you gotta chill too, man. I don't know what the fuck that was about, but this ain't that. Hey, on another note, in the background, I was listening to Belly Gang at 21. This shit, alright, bro. A couple people dropped tonight. State, Tiara Wagner, YG, and Pusha T. There's a couple people.
I'm posting everything I was gonna speak about in the chat.
Bro, just say it. The floor is open.
Shit, I'm almost done now. You see how much I put in there already?
I'm not even paying attention, bro. Honestly, I'd rather you just say it than to be for real.
Bruh, everybody looking at this shit all fucking wrong, just like I was telling their ass. They keep trying to make a distinction between Iran and Israel when they share a common fucking interest. Neither one of them want an independent state of Palestine. So you move Hamas and the motherfucking Palestine to Gaza. When you fight them, you call yourself fighting them, but you're destroying everything and the people there. Then you move the other motherfuckers over there in Lebanon, because Lebanon, Yemen, and other Middle Eastern nations all agree on the independent state of Palestine or whatever. So y'all motherfuckers is literally causing a fight between each other to destroy the people and the lands and shit over there. They working together, but making it look like they're not. And Netanyahu behind the funding of both Hamas and Hezbollah. They do that shit via the IRGC and the Muslim Brotherhood. The motherfucker that's over the Treasury has already tracked they fucking accounts. That's why he seized the crypto. $1 billion in crypto. He used to work for the London banks. So he know how to find all the shit in their shadow banking network. That's why I'm going to say, that's why that bank went down over there in Switzerland. Or whatever. And the MI6 involvement with the Muslim Brotherhood helping build their mosque in Egypt, Yemen, and again, Lebanon. All the same nations that agree on the independent state of Palestine. This is where you put your fucking brotherhoods and shit. And the MI6 calls all 3 locations strategic assets. This shit is bigger than Israel, bigger than Iran, and all of it goes right back to fucking Britain, City of London, and all that other shit.
Wait, did you say that Hezbollah is in Lebanon? Because I've been trying to figure out what's going on with the recent strikes over there. So you're kind of like putting something together.
Yeah, Hezbollah in Lebanon and Hamas is in Gaza. But the money and shit coming from the same sources. And Netanyahu, he came out his mouth himself to prevent a Palestinian military. He was going to fund Hamas because he does not want an independent Palestine. Iran doesn't want an independent Palestine either. So thus, the enemy of my enemy becomes my friend. And we keep this shit destabilized, and who's making all the fucking money, and who controlling the global shipping routes and setting the price of oil and everything? The British motherfuckers. That's why Trump breaking away from they asses too. He literally just took the whole global economy.
The British aspect that you mentioned, that's putting a lot together as well, because I know a lot of people were coming against their prime minister, whatever the guy name is, because he wasn't coming out to speak against Iran. But Britain itself, they've been having a lot of protests over there. People are talking about how it's the IRGC, they're operating over there as well. But shit, that's a whole nother story.
All the shit,
I
all of
don't
that shit is.
remember when the king came over here and he visited like a few months ago, and he was talking about the something that we signed with them.
Yeah, the treaty, the two-pillar
treaty.
system, where they're post-rules-based order. And that post-rules-based order has come to a close. He was trying to face on this shit, however, but it's literally coming to a close. Because the guy over there, Starmer, he's saying it, Mark Carney, he's saying it, and everything. Without America, that shit doesn't exist. They was even talking about their military plans because they haven't made military plans in the last 30 years. They always depended on us. NATO was not going to get involved in none of that shit down there because NATO was only supposed to protect the lands of Europe. Even though they got a fucking navy, they ain't supposed to get involved in nothing else.
Right. But the whole reason why America got strong is because a lot of nations wasn't being protected. And we said, okay, well, we'll protect you. That's how we got to be as globally big as that we are now. Like, but the fact of the matter is that the king they still have some interest in Canada, America, and Israel. And they want interest and need to keep interest in the Middle East because they just lost Africa. So keep in mind, Africa is receiving their independence as well. So
right, but if they still want to have any interest in this, they have to play by different rules, not the rules, the game board that they established to run all these other proxies. They've been using America as a proxy, Iran as a proxy, Israel, every nation was being used as a proxy against each other. Britain, EU, they don't produce shit, but what? Why? Somebody mentioned the shit earlier. When your nation ain't producing and always depending on other nations, this shit is about more strong sovereign nations, and all these other nations can produce and sustain their own. They can make money and trade however they want to. That's what we moving to. Nations operating, trading with who they want to trade with, not because you say we got to. And you set the price on everything. Now we want to negotiate for this and that. We should have the freedom to do that. That's why a lot of the Gulf states invested so much money before this shit with Iran even kicked off. And when he's saying that, okay, they came to a deal, and he's talking about investment in Iran, the same Gulf states are the ones that's going to invest in Iran.
no, here's the thing. The big thing that people are not missing that Iran is playing chess. So when they close the Strait of Hormuz, that is a big trade route for America, right? And they've already made agreements. So every time that we send a ship through there, we literally have to pay them money. We're going to be you making Iran so rich, and they're already rich. But the fact of the matter is, they weren't going to allow us to come there at all. And we have so many different people so many different companies that ship through that strait. It's like I think 30% or 40%.
Yeah, but when you go back and look at how this whole post-World War rules-based order was established, and you look at shipping and maritime or whatever, that shit still goes back to Britain over 150 years ago and everything. Iran really wasn't running shit. Iran really wasn't running shit. They call it a choke point for a reason, because many nations depend on that choke point. That is a main choke point and everything.
They did a
But
deal with China already.
finances and everything is not controlled by them. You remember when people always talk about, oh, we're going to have a World War III because only these banks are not Rothschild central banks? That was some bullshit, because British took over that shit when they put in the clerics. When they on King Reza or whatever put the clerics in, they've been running since. That's why it's called an Iranian central bank, because it's connected to their system. There's only that SWIFT central banking system. They've been in control of it. Or I say they give you these people or whatever, and you really think they running shit, but they not. In the background, it's called this is what they call it. They call it a soft power. Just like King Charles was talking about, the soft power of leadership over America. Because in 1871 they came and took this shit back.
What I'm saying is, regardless of all of that, Israel got a problem with them. And Israel's been making their life a living fucking hell, alongside a few other countries. So that right there has already ruined the relationship between a lot of countries, specifically with America, because we did have a great relationship with Iran. But Iran, the Middle East can sustain themselves. They have oil money. They have oil. They have a lot of fucking resources. They have rare earth minerals that we need, that we ain't even getting from Ukraine. They have shit that we actually need to sustain us in the future. So it's not just about money. This shit is about it's about land and what we need in order to what are those things called? Fucking microchips and shit that we need from Taiwan and stuff. Like, this goes beyond that. So if we can't even get import and export through the Strait of Hormuz, which is 20% of the global importing and exporting, that's
Yeah, but why is politics and political action like a gay magnet?
Oh, well, they're all in Model UN, and they just really thrust themselves into their academics.
Like you're telling me we can't get straight politicians?
Tom Cotton.
If you're looking for a hotel for the next day in Chicago, because that's like the Euro Star Hotel, I can't get you a mile has the type of rooms that you book for free.
It's a choice.
It's not. I would choose gay every day.
Why is it okay? Low
Dual income, no kids, rich, share the wardrobe, rich. You fall into every diversity, equity, inclusion shit. So easy to get laid. Like, if I could just choose to be gay,
I do.
hanging out with Peter Thiel laughing about fucking SpaceX.
Well, I have two theories on the only people who don't choose to be gay is because the environmental estrogens, the birth control, the water, like something happened when you were in utero, like in the womb. So maybe those people don't choose to be gay, but I feel like for everyone else, they're under possession or sway of some sort of demonic
Supposed to be
entity.
another round, correct?
And that's why they have to like fight internally against being gay. But
I think it has to do with what hormones you get in utero.
I just said that though.
Yeah,
But you
I
think
think
for everyone?
in utero, mostly, well, I think some of it's child
That's
abuse.
why pregnant bitches shouldn't use fucking fingernail polish and toenail polish. It's one of the fastest absorbing endocrine disruptors that a woman puts on their body during pregnancy is fingernail polish, toenail polish. One of the fastest. Yeah, it's like taking a birth, like it's like giving your unborn son birth control pills before he's born.
So then.
Well, you don't want to get pregnant before he's born.
No, but Q, you were cooking. Keep going with that. I want to hear.
I was busy with how.
It does, so,
get married right away.
Wouldn't that just be bad anyway, even when you're not?
So I stayed single a little longer. So, and I only had one kid because I really loved my career. It was crazy fun. So,
Sounds like
you know, yeah, we were on every background, every studio.
Auntie's
You know.
for
So you were in LA?
No. It was, our offices were in Wilmette, and then our other offices were in Martin Grove, the two different companies I worked for that were in the direct film business. But Hollywood, number one, came to us all the time. All the stars came to my offices. Number two, we did our sales meetings right near Universal Studios, at the Registry Hotel, which is no longer the Registry Hotel, but that is where we had our meetings. But all the studios wined and dined us. They would come to the hotel to promote all the new films that they were distributing. And so they would come and make big presentations to us. And then in the evenings, they would each have us for dinner, an event on one of the studio back offices. So we would be on the Western set, like they would take us to the Western set, set it up, and make us a Western barbecue. You know, with cowboy hats and then one studio had us, it was when Clint Eastwood had the film Pink Cadillac, there was a film with Pink Caddy. And they had the Cadillac out there, and then Disney had us there. And at that time, Michael Eisner was the head of Disney, and we talked to him. I ran into him in the parking lot, and we did Disney a couple times. Once on the back lot for Down and Out in Beverly Hills, which was a movie with Nick Nolte at the time. And then another time, we came, and they had us for a party in the commissary. That's where all the actors eat. You know, on the studio lot. And the costume department rolled out costumes for us to wear for the party. It was crazy. You know, like poodle skirts and sweaters, you know. And so that was kind of fun. So, yeah, it was, you know, that's what I'm saying. I didn't get married right away because I was having such a good time. So that's a little bit about in 87. So, and then
Right, that's why yours sounds a little bit younger than me.
yes, I had him in 90. He was born in 1990. He went to Iowa, University of Iowa. And
No, he lives in Palatine.
Oh, but you're out of state though, right?
Huh?
You're out of state though.
What do you mean? I'm in Illinois.
Oh, I thought you were in Minnesota.
No, my brother Bob lives in Minnesota.
Okay. So are you in suburban Chicago or no?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Oh, so
I'm in Buffalo. I don't, listen, I'm not too concerned about being doxxed. I'm in Buffalo Grove, just so you know, because I don't cause trouble in any rooms where anybody would have to leave.
Right.
So,
So
yeah, hi.
friends in Chicago.
Who's here? I don't know who's here.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
Just saying hello. Go ahead. You have
how's it
friends
going?
in Chicago. Good. Out of the friends there?
No, I said, that's what I said. You know, how you gonna say shit against me when I'm the one who fucking said it in the first place?
Okay, well, thanks for dropping by.
What the hell? What the? These people, this is what always drives me crazy.
I have a ton of friends in Chicago, and I'm going there in a couple months. But then my family who lives there, they all live in Deerfield.
Oh, your family's here in Deerfield?
Like, yeah, I have a bunch of first cousins.
I'm in Buffalo Grove. That's might as well be in Deerfield. You know what I'm saying? That's in my backyard, basically. Oh yeah, I mean, my turf. My family. My brother has a home in Highland Park. We're in Buffalo Grove and Deerfield. We have cousins in Glenview and Deerfield. That's the whole. That's the area. Lincolnshire, Buffalo Grove. So very cool. So your parents are still in Deerfield?
No, my parents are here in Detroit. These are.
Oh, okay. Got it.
These are my first cousins who grew up here in Detroit, but they ended up marrying men who lived in.
There you go.
The Northwest Chicago.
Yes, of course. Okay, so you're in your folks live in the core area in Detroit. Yeah, okay. So we have friends, a lot of friends that in Detroit. Well, not in Detroit, but in the burbs of Detroit.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, it's similar. Very similar. My sister-in-law's sister lives there. And we've been there quite a few times. So yeah, I mean that's nice. And you live in the city, or are you also sort of in the burbs?
I live in an inner ring suburb that touches the city. So I live like 5 miles from the city limits. So
yeah,
from downtown is like 20-minute drive.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
No, that's good. No, my son has to work. He's hybrid. He works both at home and in the city. And so he has to take the train. Palatine has a really good train because they run late, in case he wants to do something in the city. And he has a parking space in a garage by the train, right adjacent to the tracks, not one of the distant lots. So he's got a really cushy setup, for commuting.
I wish we had that in suburban Detroit, like a train that went to the city.
Oh, God, yeah. You didn't really want to live in the city. I did. I lived in the city, but it's a hassle because, well, you need a garage as part of your apartment. You don't want one of the old buildings where you don't have parking because it's a nightmare. And because you can't leave your car in the street in the winter, you know what I mean? They'll tow it or whatever. So here he's spending extra rent garage here in the apartments in the burbs. So that he doesn't have to clean his car over, and stuff. And safely because we complexes garage. But it's a private garage. It's not like a building kind of thing. So there's nothing. So, but he works for the comptroller.
Susan Mendoza.
That's how Illinois works. That's very
those situations in Chicago. Really bad. She's really turned it around. Now she's running for mayor. His boss is running for mayor.
Of which?
Chicago.
Oh.
Chicago. Yeah.
In Chicago. Oh, okay.
Yes.
God, they need a good mayor there.
Yeah, she's Mexican. Susana Mendoza, she's really, I love her. She's a doll, she's very sweet. And she's good friends with my brother. And so now, I donated to her for mayor. So she, even though I don't live in Chicago, I still think she'll make a good mayor. And they just won't have a new boss. So supposedly she's nice. We'll see. We will see. Yeah, we will see. But it's an interesting job to work for the state.
Well, you know, there's a clubhouse person who's running for mayor of Chicago.
Oh, please, do not go there with me. Our friendship ends here. I'm going to tell you. I know asshole Kitover very well. When he first got on this app, he came to the Jewish room with his shtick.
Do you know? Have you met him in real life?
Never, and I will never meet him in real life. I'm going to tell you. The nutsiest. I mean, and here's the thing. I know all the major politicians in Illinois, okay? We happen to have, my brother is pretty well connected, you know, and so at my parents' funeral was Brad Schneider, who's our congressman, and Bob Dole, who's a good friend, and Mark Kirk, who was our senator. We were all at my parents' funeral. And so we know all the politicians, and so was Susana Mendoza. She, you know, the Contra was at my father's funeral. So, you know, the inside track on him, you know, from like Darren LaHood and the other people, I mean, you know, he cheats. He's such a crook. He's such a little, nothing he does is good. You know what I'm saying? You can't trust him. So he was kicked off the ballot because he round-tabled his signatures.
No, I did not.
I don't know that term in particular, but I definitely read the news articles that came out about
I was round-tabled against when I ran for committee person.
I did it.
They got the signatures overnight.
I did a very snarky Sora AI on him. Being, you know, the round table, John Kitover in the round table with the knights, but it meant that he had a few friends sit around the table and fake signatures. That's what round tabling is.
I got like one friend.
That makes sense.
You know how long it would have taken?
A little inside track there. And so now he's saying he's running for Chicago, but I've also listened into so many of his live calls that it is, and I'm not talking him sitting on Clubhouse listening, I'm talking business calls. His boss, he had her on speaker. He had problems because he worked for, you know, the Internal Revenue, like maintenance, sort of overseeing stuff.
Who was the janitor at the IRS?
And he lost that job, but even at that moment, there was a conflict with another employee. Any surprise dealing with John? And then he tried to get money, you know, for
our next trial is June 25th.
Whatever, and he did not get the money.
Oh, I did. I will get the money, and I did get the money.
That because he was on the phone. And then election judge, you know, the judge when he was also writing a complaint about the other candidate or something, and one of the judges called him on the phone, and they might have even been Zooming, okay? Do you know he streamed that? You know, that's against the law. He streamed. I mean, he just gets away with so much stuff.
Got away with robbery.
To do with him because he will taint you. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, the tainter!
Except.
No, I don't mean you.
Yeah,
No. I didn't.
Yeah.
When I said
okay.
you, I meant anyone on the app.
Okay,
You know,
sure.
you wouldn't want to have is what I meant. Any association with him, which boggles my mind because Max Rice and what's his face Rice. They just think he's a cat's meow, and they're just as creepy as he is running for office in Chicago. Mark Rice and Max Rice, they're on that, or we're on that.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And they just love him. And Norm gets a kick out of him now, which I don't get. You know what I'm saying? And I am on his side. I've saved the links of where he streamed me, but I don't allow it anymore. I'm very careful. But they come to me, like Jeff and everybody always comes to me to find all his new accounts so they can block him out of rooms. They don't want him in rooms. Because he streams it all. It's all streamed. I mean, even if you're just joking around, all it takes is one wrong person to hear you say something, or somebody you don't like to hear it, and they're going to use it against you. You know, it's dangerous. So.
The thing is that no one listens to his streams at all.
Well.
Like, I think his, like, most viewed video has, like, 13 views or something.
I understand. Yes. Yes and no. But just the point that you're out there in the universe, you know what I'm saying? And in the Clubhouse element, when the other Clubhouse folk know he streams and there's all this conflict going on, if they overhear you say something, you know, and they don't like you,
sure,
they could dox you or they could cause trouble, you know, and that has happened. So that was what made people very upset with him, because there's a lot of doxing and other things going on, but he's ended up doxing himself. He used the different names, Edmund, but that's the street he lived on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know it all. You know, he's so idiotic. He was driving at night once, streaming live. Somebody told me, I went and looked. And I could see the street addresses as he's driving. And I said, oh, that's where this gym is. And he's in Jefferson Park. I knew right where he was living.
Right.
And he's used Jefferson Park or whatever. You know, he's used all the derivatives. And I know exactly the building he lives in.
Yeah, those are cassettes in the
This
back.
is a nice building.
It's an old, you know, flat. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's a vintage building.
Mm-hmm.
So, in Chicago, you know, one of the vintage buildings in Chicago. But, you know, he stacks himself, so now it's fair game. His name is all over the place now, because now all his websites now are pretty much his real name. All his YouTubes.
Right, yeah, he's not a secret personality or anything.
Not anymore, no, but he has, and so his father died, and again, I know this with Facebook and everything, and he inherited something, and he might have bought that building or one of the buildings, or invested in his apartment, whatever. He might own a couple apartments, whatever, so that's all he has is living off of, because he lost his job. So I don't quite understand what he does with himself at this point.
I'm live streaming at you on YouTube right now. That's what I'm doing.
He's a politician.
No, he's not. And he doesn't think what he really is. He thinks he's an entertainer. He visions himself as an entertainer. But it's like a one-trick pony. It's the same. He says the same kind of lines and bits. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Right? So he does the shtick, and it's not even good shtick. Oh, he's the lowest. So that's probably the worst person on the app. I'll take Pepe over him. Pepe's pretty bad. Or a mirror. It's pretty bad. I'll take a mirror over John Kitover.
Yeah,
So.
once in a great while, he could hang out and be like somewhat normal, but that's a rare exception.
But the problem is he's hanging out and streaming you. So
you have to be aware of that, yeah.
Right, because, you know, and someone like Monica who could say some things sometimes that trigger people, you know what I mean? She's very clever. And, you know, but if I was her, I wouldn't want that to live on somewhere where later on somebody knowing that he does that will go and find something, you know what I mean? Because people you might think nobody watches, but I know in our crowd, many people have gone through a lot of them looking, you know, because a lot of them have the front page, right, this page on, you see this first, right? You see the little PTRs. So they go searching through those to see if there's one with them in it, or somebody they're looking for. I've heard some people do some nasty things with it. You know, not John, but people who used it, or wanted to see if they were talking about them. You know, it becomes weird. So I just won't go on I generally won't go on stage if he's on, because I don't want to be recorded.
Yeah, no problem.
So, you know, but yeah, he's the other character on this app. And how many times have people reported him to?
50, 100.
I think he said at one point he has 60 phones.
Oh, I have taken screenshots of all the pictures of his phones. A bunch of us were doing some well, no, a bunch of us, it wasn't just me. We had a little, one night we were goofing around, you know, very clubhousey, and we pulled up all kinds of stuff to get screenshots of all these phones. It's mind-boggling. He spent a lot of money on phones, let me tell you.
Right, which is just, you know, goes to show his mental state.
Yeah, and he even set it up in a second room in his house.
4 rooms. I got 4 recording, 5 recording studios.
Everywhere. But he wasn't just on Clubhouse. He was on Instagram. It's also on Facebook. It's everywhere. It's also on X.
Well, because you remember for a while he was saying that he's making a deal with Netflix to do a documentary about Clubhouse.
Oh my God. He's such a talker. Yeah, he's such a talker. Yeah, have him give me a call when it's done, okay?
Yeah, well, you'll have to call his people.
Yeah, I will call his people who call my people. That is so funny. Oh my God, Kitover. He's just, but his uncle was there's an interesting newspaper. Remember, I'm a genealogist.
Yeah, what kind of name is Kitover? I've never heard of you named Kitover.
Yeah. You know, it's a derivative. But the trick is, the funny thing is, you know, in those subscription programs like All Access, whatever, you get newspapers.com. And I looked up his family name in Illinois, and his uncle was really, the whole thing on him, really a character. Remind me to find it for you one day. I'll pull it up. It's really interesting read. His father has a Facebook page. He's deceased, but his mother, he's taken her to some political things. So we're on, a few of us in the room were on, and we opened up and there he is talking to his mom. He's streaming his mom. One night he was streaming some girl. He wanted to go over there, and she didn't want anything to do with him, so it was pretty hilarious. Another time, somebody, you know, one of his rental properties or whatever, was reaching out, and can you imagine somebody doing business with him? He's streaming it live. So, see, those kind of things are really serious, you know.
Fully transparent.
And I think in Illinois, I'm trying to remember the law. I can't remember right now. But certain states, he could really get in trouble if, you know.
We don't like your podcast.
He just thinks it's all funny.
You're in big trouble, mister.
But he spends 24/7 sitting in his office there. So
it's too bad because his mayoral campaign website looks pretty professional until you get down to the very end, and his email address is a Gmail account. It's like, why would you go through all this trouble and not get a domain?
It's such pretend. The politicians know him, and it's such a pretend thing. You know,
The politicians know me.
He doesn't have a chance in heck, and you know, if he gets 100 votes, I would say it's a joke. It's a joke. Like you said, he's got all that campaign, but nobody's looking at any of it.
Right.
There's nobody watching it.
Nobody even looks at the real politicians.
Imagination, and that's sort of an illness. There's nothing legitimate about it.
Sort of an illness.
Very creepy.
Sort of an illness.
Think about it.
Yeah, like what he really gets out of it.
I don't know. He lives in his own head. Do you know what I'm saying? He's like,
Projection alert system has been activated. The projection alert system has been activated. I'm living rent free in your head.
how does he perceive? No, how does he perceive all this that he's doing?
Right.
My God, if you did it, your mother would freak. A parent or a family member, if they discovered you doing that, oh my God, it's just. I can't believe I believe totally his mother has no clue that he has all this. You know what I'm saying? And that she gets recorded.
She's like on a flip phone.
I heard her on the phone. I heard so it's not just recording Clubhouse. He just records his whole life. It's very bizarre. And it goes back in time. You really go look. There's some old stuff. So he's been following me for a long time. But I've done some. I think I have PTRs here that I never deleted, which I should delete. I have Kitover PTRs here. I have like 100 PTRs here, but let me see. You're gonna laugh. I made some obnoxious ones on him. Along here, ready? This is a PTR I made.
Mm-hmm.
Here. There you go.
That's funny.
Oh, hey, I told you, I'm pretty techie. So wait, I'll tell you, I have another one. Wait, let me find it for you. Hold on.
You know Joby.
Oh, yeah.
You know she donated to his congressional campaign.
Shima Shugana?
She is.
I was just going to say, I didn't mean is she. I think she is a little bit Shugana.
Yeah.
I noticed that. Okay, ready for this? This I created with AI. Ready? Look.
That's good.
I think she was the one.
On his hat, by the way.
Oh, I didn't notice that at first. Yeah, you definitely made him look a lot older too.
You like that? I thought I did a good job. Monica loves all this stuff. She loves it, because, this is definitely up Monica's alley. She thought it was funny. But she used to always wait through my PTRs. Monica always liked my PTRs. So, she was one of my biggest fans. But, Okay, ready? Here you go. Wait, okay.
Now this Frankenstein's monster.
That's Kitover doing his yoga.
Oh.
I just had a little fun with it. Hey, wait, I got a couple more for you. Here he is. This is one of my favorite.
Okay, let's see. That's funny.
I'm telling you, we had some fun. I mean, this was, I posted them, but as you can imagine, it was a little Clubhouse conversation with a bunch of people,
Definitely captured the frumpiness.
Yeah, and here is the original. I just want to show you a picture from the Frankenstein. There.
Wait, why do his arms look like that? What? Oh, never mind. It's his arm holding up his leg. I thought it was like. Oh, yeah. Okay. That's really gross, actually.
I know. What kind of boomer am I? I'm a child. When it comes to Kitover, I'm sorry. He's like a playboy. You know what I'm saying? He's so easy to make fun of. He's so easy to make fun of. So now I've got to put I've got a PTR, bunch of things, just so that that's not showing. You know, I mean, I've got a change
Yeah.
that's far away. I leave them there because if you're not my friend, you can't see, you know, you can't see those. But I don't want them to be up front now. Now they're up front. So I've got to just go do 1,000 PTRs. So just ignore them. I got to bury it now. I have to bury him a bit.
You gotta bury the evidence of John Kitover's
I'm
existence.
burying him. He's almost buried. I thought you would get a kick out of that though, because I mean he's so busy, you know, recording everybody. He loves AI. He is like Did you see how many Sora videos and how many he's done?
No.
Oh my God, he's like the AI king. He's totally AI. Totally AI. Anyways, I'm sure you want to go to bed. I probably should go to bed. And we've got Anan here. Hi, Anan. Welcome.
Now, if you come on stage, we'll donate to John Kitover for mayor of Chicago.
There you go.
All right. Well, I'm glad we got to
Good night. Yeah, it was fun.
Elena.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have a great night.
Absolutely.
See you next time.
All right. Take care. Good night.
Bye-bye.
We're all going to vote for him. That is not what black people did. And so to think that you can just run up to us and just throw anything at us, that's to me disrespectful and anti-black.
Well, he's going to make an argument that that's exactly what Democrats do.
Well, no, that's not even. I'll make the actual argument I would make, right? So when it comes to, all right, so Shaw, let me ask you a question, right? And I ain't even really like trying to debate or go back and forth, just trying to have a convo, right? So do you feel like when Obama ran for president that we were already in a racist white supremacy type of America? Do you believe that to be true?
Is that a real question?
As a person who was a Muslim in 2001 and knew instinctively that when the Twin Towers got hit, that they would be automatically hunting us down if it were anybody who was identified as a Muslim involved. Absolutely. But as a person who grew up in the South, absolutely. Like, you don't get to run from the uncomfortable part of this country. There is no law that passed that made people change overnight. These people are passing their traditions down. We have traditions of cooking and, you know, what we do as a family and this and that and the other. And we also pass down toxic behavior that is learned and passed on from generation to generation, and we're the ones that have to say, hey, and when by we, I mean just a regular we, not a black we, that we have to be the ones to say, well, my kids aren't going to have to, my kids aren't going to have to put up with this illogical behavior or this abusive behavior or this toxic thinking. And so some people have worked to do that, and there's a lot of work to do. And in the case of race, there is still a ton of work to do because we also have to contend with the root of this place. And that's just a fact. It can be uncomfortable for everybody, but when our kids are getting shot and people are still making excuses as to why it's okay here and not okay here, and it's fine here when it happens to this one, but not okay when it happens to that one. Like,
don't mean, in that sense, white supremacy isn't as powerful as we say it is.
That's not true. One thing doesn't don't go to the other. I mean, there were folks that the same folks that came out and voted for Biden, the same folks voted for Barack Obama and they voted for
Trump voted twice for Barack Obama, he still would have lost the election. This has nothing to do with black voter turnout.
Sure.
All right, white women voted in large numbers for Barack Obama. When Hillary ran against, oh my God, turnout. You stressed it. Yo, Quinn. The brother asked you a direct question. Your direct answer had to do with black voter turnout. That's what you said. No, okay, man. You said nothing about white women. You said nothing about white women.
Because you jumped in before I could.
I jumped in before. The brother spoke. I'm speaking now. You gave a whole complete answer. You gave a whole complete answer. So, and the brother's asking you an excellent question.
And with white women and college-educated white men. That was why he won.
Keyword college educated.
Right. Is that enough, Anthony, or did you want to expound a little more? I just said,
how did we get in for 2 terms? In super racist.
The same people came out to vote for him.
The white racist people?
Pretty terrible.
But America's super
You
racist.
realize this black person ain't racist, right?
Yeah,
You realize that?
every
They
white
exist,
person is
like you
fucking
don't like,
racist.
but enough? What's going on?
There were enough white people who were voting for Obama that, and you can look this up.
Along with a historic turnout of black people.
They had Confederate flag buttons that was still, vote for Obama. These people were in a very dire economic situation, and things were not looking good for them. He got a turnout that was really interesting because, yes, even some of those, rednecks popped up and said, you know what, things are not looking good for us. And part of the reason why, I'm not saying a lot of them, but a good little number of them, to where their racism doesn't always supersede their material conditions. And some of them were really not doing well. And they said, well, let me do a shot in the dark, because this man is at least not gonna, kill us. He's not gonna kill us all.
And we can also I'm sorry, Jimmy.
Give it a try.
We can also clear this up for, I'm sorry, we can also clear this up because I think this is pivotal. When black folks refer to white folks as being racist, so we thought we didn't necessarily need to say this, but we'll say it just in case for the slow people in the room. We don't necessarily mean that all white people are racist. We don't mean that at all. We're smart enough to understand that there are a good number of white people in this country who are not racist.
But that's why I asked the question the way I did, and I said,
you're asking that question with the understanding that we don't know that.
Hold on.
We understand that. There were enough white people who were not racist who came out to vote, and there were enough of them that stayed home, apparently, or not enough of them came out to vote. So whatever that mixture was, there were enough of those people that came out, along with a historic number of black people that can't be overlooked. And he also won independence in the middle. So there's also a lot of people and a number of other people that we don't need to, you can go and look up the exit polling. It's very easy to do for both 2008 and 2012.
Hey,
but
I'm not
the most
disagreeing.
pivotal thing is we're talking about is that when we say that, because you seem to be trying to imply that along with your co-host Ed McMahon as well, that we are implying that all white people are racist, and how could Obama win 2 terms if the country was so racist? Well, there's a good swath of white people in this country who are extremely racist. That's who we're referring to. We're not talking about everyone. Just so that you can go forward with this conversation, so that neither of you have to say no dumb shit like that again. Go right in.
Also, a fun fact about systemic racism is you don't actually need racist people to keep the system going. It's systemic. So unless you can have people who vote for Obama, they're not racist, but unless you're being actively anti-racist, you're still letting the system go as the system goes. So yeah, there was lots of non-racists voting for Obama, but the system's still gonna go.
They ain't ready for that part, Mike.
I heard a story when I was talking to some people, and they were doing canvassing. I think it was in West Virginia, and they knocked on the door. They were like, who are you voting for, in the election? And the woman was like, I don't know. My husband decides, and whatever. And he was like, is your husband home?
It was a cleaning
He's back
stream
there.
for a moment.
And she was like, hey, who are we voting for? And the person
now,
heard from the other word.
it's a vibrator stream.
I just thought it was a good idea to lay that.
In a level, what's a level?
That's always.
Gotta level up. People keep telling you, John, you need to level up your game.
If it's ignorant, why do most people agree and say it's a true fact on stage just now as we're having this conversation? That America is racist.
America is, but do you understand what people are saying? Why don't you just explain that to you? You understand what he meant when he said that?
No, but what you just said, you said it as if people on this stage didn't agree and say that's facts. Literally what you just said as if people didn't agree.
It is 100% a fact that America is racist.
So because Obama won, there's no institutional or systemic racism? I know Ed McMahon doesn't agree with that.
I'm not saying that.
Ed McMahon?
I'm not saying that. I posed the question before I even got into what I was getting into.
America is 100% absolutely racist, structurally all oriented around the white man.
What's going on? We're trying to have a regular topic.
You don't say nothing when he calls me Ed McMahon, right, Patty? You got no shit.
Ed McMahon!
Different space. Guess what? I don't give a fuck. Okay?
Ooh, shit.
So State, why would you ask that question?
Yeah, well, I don't know what to tell you. You put a hammer with a nail.
Hold on, bro.
To some people, everything looks like a nail.
When Obama got in office, were we dealing with a white racist, white supremacy, were we dealing with that type of America? That was the question I asked. And I was speaking to, I don't want to get her name wrong, my bad, Miss Shot. And when I asked that question, she said yes. So I just followed up and just was curious, and I wanted to ask. That's the state of the nation. How did Obama serve 2 terms? I didn't apply nothing on nobody. I was just trying to just get some understanding. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong, whatever the case is. I'm just listening to how the conversation is going, and I'm asking questions, trying to get understanding, and just doing my mind. That's all.
You don't want me asking home. It's relevant to the question.
I'm a grown adult.
You can tell me relevant.
I'm a grown adult. I got kids. I got a lot of.
He said 30.
Yeah. I'm over 30. Yeah.
Okay, so we're almost 20 years removed from that time. So there may be some things you genuinely didn't understand. So I'm telling, listen, I apologize if you didn't.
I'm an analog. You voted me for the cassettes. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. Mozart!
So we have understood talking about
It's cool. I didn't project me knowing anything. That's all I'm saying. I said I asked some questions, and I was trying to get understanding. So I'm ready to check this out.
90s, even before I was born. You live this long and still talk that dumb shit. He got a woman. He went to that country. He got a good one. Now, only part where I step on him at will step on any black man. If you date outside your race, don't come back to your race. That's the fuck one. I did outside my race. I love it. I did the right woman. This woman that I needed in my life at that time. There's a woman. Right woman. There was fucking Chinese. There was fucking Mexican. Just fucking Mexican. You get in your fucking life. I got this knowledge of traveling. But I never disrespected the black woman. I think the white woman, I'm with. I'm with the Mexican woman, I'm with. I'm not dating the Mexican woman and seeing what she's not with the black woman. And I'm trying to make her the I'm out there with you. Make black women love me unconditionally. It didn't work out. That's understanding shit happens. It's just too long. I just love this woman and she just so happened to be Chinese. Why the fuck is we comparing it to a black woman? So it's a lot of, God damn it. Like, I can't even bring it from that position because if we're saying, look, you know, like just find a good girl and this, that, and the third, regardless of what she is, as long as she a good girl or cool, that's one thing. But if you're doing it under the impression you can't find no good black woman, that's a hurt nigga move. That's a soft nigga move. And the soft part is when you're willing to downplay the same black woman that give off this impression that that the woman you're dating from that other culture is better. But remember, when you do that, you're saying their cult better. And when you're saying their culture is better, when you knock your culture, you knock that culture too. You can't separate yourself. Nature told you that, regardless of how you feel. Nature told you you can't separate yourself. So as bad as you hate your guns because they black, it doesn't erase you from being black. And that's the hard pill you gotta swallow at the end of the day. So I get it again. Like I said, I tell a woman the same thing. If you date out your race and at the end of the day, you don't see race and all that good shit, they stand on. But the minute you start comparing, remember when you feel as though you shoot out in the head, you gotta turn around and put that gun in your mouth and pull the trigger, my man. Because again, you taking both y'all down at the same time. They cancel one out, they cancel both out. And we was taught that it was individuality thing. And in this individuality thing, we believe no different than one black man saying, if I made it, we all made it. Fuck no. Don't no culture move like that.
I'm sacrificing my brain for Clown House. The founders of the app should be paying me for my sacrifice. The gold scheme hasn't paid off, though. People keep sending me gold, but they keep deleting my accounts. I had to go through the whole Stripe Social Security verification system. Oh, Stole all me gold. Goddamn murderer stole me gold on Crodenhouse. I'm an angry leprechaun troll.
That was cute. I very much so appreciate your passion. The passion was wonderful, okay? I really did believe that performance, okay? I really did. So what I'm saying is like, it's one of those situations where, unfortunately, when you're having conversations with people, you know, some of these people I've never been out to meet. So, they've never like experienced certain things, right? And I can tell you for a fact, as a person who's been out the country quite a few times, right? Like, the whole environment is just different, right? This whole American culture is just fucked up. It's goofy at this point. It's just not it. Like,
Projection alert system has been activated. Notify all the leprechauns who stole me gold.
And that's just the reality. It's a full process. Like, they done talk so many different things, so many different variables. It's convoluted love. Like, it's not really the love that
Convoluted love.
and actually trust.
It's also convoluted. It's just love. The Mozart, this motherfucker. I got crepitus in my knee. It's called. I got arthritis in the knee. How do I get rid of that arthritis in my knee? Oh, you don't like my 30 streams of bullshit? Why are you here watching me? It sounds like a you problem. Generational trauma?
It's certain things you're speaking on that you're speaking on, but you don't want to own.
Oh, shit.
These women and get they and praise you, and that's because they come from a culture that was locked down, and they history of being groomed to understand what being feminine looks like. They're groomed from that position. That's why I literally said in my submission prior that we have to own that on average, when we talk about majority versus minority, on average, the average black woman today ain't groomed to be a wife, bro. That's why I said that. You're talking about if you're groomed to be a wife, the first thing you learn is the understanding of patience and operating with men and playing a part in your femininity. When you go to these other countries, when these women are groomed to be wives, of course they groomed to be fully in their femininity. And that's something men aren't used to. I say it all the time. When you get off that plane, it's almost like you got to recalibrate your brain to lock back into the bullshit.
Absolutely. So good. So you know that feeling. So you know that feeling when you walking through the airport and you realize you're back in America and you almost feel like there's something different. Like, damn, back to the bullshit. Yeah, you know that feeling, brother. You know that feeling. Don't act like you don't know it, boy. I promise you. When you land back in Atlanta and you about to go back home and you see that loud ass, so angry ass black lady who had work yelling at people and shit, and you realize like, damn, I'm back to rude ass entitled America. It's just a level of just entitlement and just rules and like, I don't know, like you say, they was taught to be feminine about top, right? But I think some of these women have the capability of being feminine, but they choose not to be until you unlock certain things, till you do certain things, until you quote unquote prove yourself. That's when they go all of a sudden.
Now I can agree with that. I can respectfully.
Like some of these people are actually great women, but they just choose to be a piece of shit for a while. But they want you to be patient until they feel like.
Wait a minute. But again, even when you say they choose to be a piece of shit, and it's hurt, and as bad as it hurts me to say this, and I'm not going to lie to you, like when I've seen women that actually chose to be ignorant, think it's cute to be disrespectful and shit like that, the first thing they say is that the men like you. So I need them because
ones that actually keeping that shit alive. You understand what I'm saying? So if we had that conversation, because some women really think they encourage shit like that.
Strike a master chord.
I never seen stand up women or fake women that entertain that type of bullshit. Well, clarity, how about
Well, clarity, how about, well, I think you gotta broaden your mind. We're not the only group. It's the ones that you just focused on the more. Amari, when you go, next time you come,
space for toxicity? You said we're not the only group that creates space for toxicity amongst each other?
No, we're not. We're not the only ones. There's other groups that do it too. You just gotta broaden your mind and look at others, but you choose not to look at those other groups. But I can rock with you when you say you think that's us. But my thing is, Amari, next time you fly to the Atlanta airport and you look at that loudmouth black woman, how about you look over across the next gate and look at that black woman sitting with her boyfriend holding her hand? They're at peace. There's one. How about the next time when you sit there and you see that black woman cussing or arguing, or that dude cussing or arguing? Why don't you turn away from that and look at the black woman that's getting hugged by her boyfriend while they're walking? Why don't you look at that one?
Unethical experiments. These are the 50 most insane and disturbing CIA facts you never knew. Number 50. The CIA Assassination Manual, drafted in 1952, states, Nazis for help.
In a wheelchair, and she had his baby. And he got pee out of. But that black woman got back. Why don't you focus on that woman that struck him? Whether he got shot or he needs surgery. Or you old enough to know, or you seen a black woman that has been with her husband and he needs a kidney transplant and she's still with him. She didn't leave him.
Okay, I hear you. And I'm open to looking at other things. Don't get me wrong. I see other stuff. But my thing is, if we want to like really wake this up for real, I'm gonna say this, right? And I'm gonna say this, and then you can respond. Why is it that our women are the only women that we need? They look like samurai. They need a man that can handle it. Like I don't know if that makes sense. If they're a stick, like that's a real stick for them. Like they need to be handled. And last time I checked, you handle animals, not humans.
That's why I said you gotta see it.
You ain't never heard a woman say, he can handle me.
Yeah. Let me tell you, I'm riding on the train in the UK, going from London to Liverpool. 3 women on the train in front of me. 3 women. One woman said, "Honey, I don't know. It's just some of these men. If you can take on me and my attitude, we good. I didn't man that can handle me. I can't find one." It's a white one.
Strike a master
I try. I talk to other beautiful women. There's something that you don't. They both are the same. Listen to you all are just stuck in this room.
The most secretive organization.
It
runs on a black budget, laundering power through offshore cash and shell companies. From overthrowing foreign leaders in the Cold War to deploying algorithms and drones in the war on people. Invocation of Satan Hail. It changes how elections are.
In marriage, we don't know. A lot in the in-house is short and it's full of shit. You gotta deal with it. Simple. My skin is numb to this shit.
Invocation of Satan Hail, Almighty One, ruler of the unseen.
Hear y'all say that though, man. They hear you say, we're the only ones, we're the only. That tells me like that you're this circle. You can talk about this. Right, and I simply jury. That's a that now that's a jury that the when I say it's happening, and I say
scenario. But if I placed it on a scale of majority versus minority, every man in here that was feet when exposed, that would be the minority of what you would see on average. Now we're talking about what we see on average. So it shifts the dynamic of the conversation. I'm not saying it's not happening everywhere, but when I say we create the safe space and we're the only ones that got the biggest group that create the safest space for the wildest toxicity. Facts. So again, I'm not disowning the fact that we're targeted. I'm not disowning the fact that we're manipulating and maneuver. But at some point, if we can't own the major problems, then by default, speaking for the minority is not going to affect the majority. It's not. At some point, somebody wanted to drop a ball that's going to send a shockwave mentally through this shit that's going to wake some shit up on some real shit, bro. But I'm not negating what you're saying when you say it's everybody. Yeah, but they're not as affected as we are. We're so affected, we're infected. That's how real that shit get with us. So we can play the game and be like, oh yeah, we can focus on a better and a more positive. But when you're the spokesperson for negativity, when your culture is the spoke people, when it's time for all types of bullshit, when they drop everything that ever goes left, or y'all do it at your front, and majority of the time we accept it and start pointing the finger at each other, then by default you have to acknowledge the negativity from the majority level versus the minority, depending on what we place the situation at. Because we ain't gonna get, I hate when we get it, we're in an all-gentle conversation where, well, it's only in the ghetto. No, the fuck it's not. It's just the more you climb that ladder, the more indirect you get, the more you drop down the ladder, the more direct you get. Are you willing to own it? That would be the question I would have to ask before I even deal within that conversation. But I get where you're going. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just keep leaving the door open for us to understand. It's so many fucking variables for us to start trying to act like we can cancel out a variable.
Nazis for help with
Because there's too many variables, we can fall before. Everyone's making valid points. But I think the issue is everything that you say could be true on both sides. What are you doing to get the results that you want? And that's what I'm going to always lead with, because it's like, okay, this is true. This is true. So what's stopping you from getting what you want? And so being PhD said, well, I'm not going to Africa. So I didn't say you had to go to Africa. You agreed that there's some good women in America. Why can't you be with them good women?
So we're here in Chicago where a fight just broke out. Happens here all the time. People screaming at each other. They make it like a public show apparently over here, but I just pull my...
I chose.
I was on Pierce Morgan.
I'm not new to traveling. I'm not new to this. I've been traveling.
I was on Pierce Morgan a couple of days ago with a panel. We're all talking about there was an ex-CIA agent.
When I first traveled out this country was to retire abroad. That came with reality as I've gotten older. And I've always wanted to live and relocate to Africa or Asia. I was planning on retiring in Asia, which I still may do. Because I found a nice place. But obviously, I've never back in Africa, so I have to live in both places. So I think, you guys can have all the points you want, but unless you're not, if you're not getting results that you want, if you want to be single and you're saying, I don't want to get married, I want to stay single, then you should be happy with being single. If you're saying,
John want me eviscerated with a machete here. He pulled the machete out of his sleeve and stabbed me through the stomach, and it went at an upward angle. So it went through my stomach, through all of my intestines, through my left lung, stabbed me in the back, shot me in the chest. Yeah, this was a shot. This is a stab. I was stabbed and shot back to back. This is a stab. I have one in this arm. I have one in the side of my neck. I have a gunshot wound right here in the back of my head. I got fragmentations from a gunshot wound in my right eye. I thought Chicago was the rack in the field for the longest, and it took a team of surgeons to make me.
So we're here in class.
Friends, it's a little after 10 p.m. And I know what you're thinking. It's not about the Knicks, not the parade, not the ceremony, not first championship in 53 years. It's about the fact that tomorrow is the last Friday of early voting. And I know you're thinking.
Jillian, when I was coming into the studio,
What is Hampton and why are you building it?
Yeah, I feel like honestly, y'all don't like the good girls. Like, y'all look over the good girls, and y'all look for the what you call them, PhD, the 7, the 8s, and the 10s, and y'all overlook what y'all 4, the 5, the 4s, the 3s, the 1s. And I feel like those are the wives, the ones that aren't really worried about how they look, and worried about the inside, internal. That's y'all chase that y'all niggas who chase them.
We are here with Brian today. Tell us, what is your favorite?
No, it's not less than. Look, Grace, no, Grace, let me finish. Because some of them girls that y'all think 8, 10,
I have about 88
they not
clients or
really
so.
that. It's the maintenance that they keep up with, like the hair, the nails, the makeup. Like, you gotta keep up yourself to remain that number. Like most of them females don't wake up like that, my nigga. Like, what the fuck?
Strike a master draw the flaming sword.
The makeup is an asset to her life. That does not make her life. That is an add-on. That's not a
So you support people? Do you believe that black people are
naturally beautiful, naturally
inferior in intelligence?
You don't need no add-on. That's the way she wake up every day of her life. She was born facially blessed. Okay? So you can't do that.
Hold on. I want to say this. With the attraction, it's not true. It has nothing to do with the 8, 9, and 10. The average dude does not marry a woman who's a quote unquote 8, 9, and 10. Average people marry average people. So it's not that. It's not just.
Can you tell us what PhD that?
Average people, under people who are average or under average people get married every single day. Most people are average. And those are the people that is getting married the most because most people are average. I just simply think it's just not just an attraction. It's not, she's got to be an 8. These dudes are wrong. That's what it is. It's not like, listen, look at me. 8. If she's not having sex with you in 48 hours,
Why intellectual rival? I don't know.
I don't even want to use the word no more. Matter of fact, I haven't used it. You have to realize, first of all, Grace, you're not average. Now that you got your wife, you're Superman.
Naveen is actually really good. I don't know if you know Naveen, but Naveen is very good, very aggressive, and has a lot of alternative perspectives and facts, which are always interesting. So I don't know if that's intellectual, but it's more like political in terms of like spiritual.
This is the one that I want. So that person sees them higher than average.
I'm not like.
They see them higher.
I just have books, you know. It's not like a competition per se, but there's a couple people that are like very intuitive down here. Most intuitive people or self-aware people get off the app because they realize it's like a waste of time. It's like, it's true. It is like talking with brain dead language monkeys.
You're not rich. You're seeing skinny with the fattest man.
Not stupid people, but people who can't stop using language. It's English language addicts. It's a video game for these people.
His wife was not, she was married to him.